Okay, I was responsible yesterday. I took him to the dentist. It's your turn.
No, I was responsible yesterday.
What'd you do?
Made him lunch?
You did not. I packed him a sandwich.
Yeah, but I ate that. Well, I was hungry and it was there, so I ate it. So I made you lunch, didn't I?
Frozen waffles.
And fruit strips.
Your turn. Tommy, this is between you and Dad.
Well, gee, son, this is your dad. You know, there's a lot of things in life that are boring, but that doesn't mean they're not worth doing.
Like what?
I'm stumped. He's got a point.
Oh, he does. You can't just quit something because it's boring. Your team depends on you.
But it's no fun. And Dad said life should be fun.
Excuse me, Tommy. Honey, bed. Daddy and I'll talk. Night. Love you. You said life's supposed to be fun.
No, I didn't say life's supposed to be fun. I said life should be fun.
Oh, that's so much better.
What's the matter with that?
Well, Dave, if you act like it doesn't matter, then he's going to act like it doesn't matter.
Beth, it doesn't matter. It's just a game. Why do adults have to turn every little thing into some life lesson?
Because life is the little things.
Ooh.
What?
I just sounded like my mother.
No, you didn't. She's not so whiny. Hey, you're still up?
How come you don't have one of those big speaker things for that?
An amplifier? Huh, in this neighborhood? I used to have one back in college. But Uncle Shell and Kenny and I decided we wanted to see what it would sound like if we dropped it out the dorm window. It was very cool.
Should I go with your mom?
Well, Tommy, you know, maybe I did go a little overboard when I said that life should be fun. I mean, it should be, but it's not always.
Mom won. Huh.
She did not. Besides, really, is winning and losing that big a deal?
Have you ever lost a game 36-0? It is a big deal.
I guess so, but you know, sometimes the biggest deal is just hanging in there. I mean, look at me. You know, there are lots of mornings I wake up, the last thing in the world I would want to do is write some humor column, but you know what I do?
You hang out your back and watch TV.
I know that's what it looks like. But while I'm sitting there like a lump of processed cheese, inside, my mind is clicking away. I'm thinking stuff up. I'm throwing stuff away. I'm writing and rewriting it is work. Hey, the point is, sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do if you want to make a difference.
But I don't want to make a difference. I want to be like you. Who are you calling?
Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Dr. Sheldon Baylor isn't in right now, but you could leave a message at my office at 555-2005 or at the hospital, 555-2918. Messages for the former Estelle Baylor can be left at 555-2413, or you can leave your message here at the sound of the beep. For fax transmission, it's called 555-2468.
Thank God.
A miracle.
Shell, it's Dave. I'm here with Tommy, and we've been thinking. I'm going to help you coach soccer.
Mom!
You're welcome.
Not far from Seattle's famed Mount Rainier is another place with a towering reputation. It's Larry's Markets, a supermarket where you can tour the wine country of France, sample delicacies from across the Pacific, and learn to cook food that's out of this world. But if you go, bring your walking shoes and your Visa card, because Larry's will take you on a culinary trip across 6 continents, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Say your family walks on your carpet 20 times a day. After a while, it's like a marching band went through your living room. Fortunately, there's new DuPont Master Life. Its 33% bigger fibers hold up better to heavy traffic. Oh, and did we mention the advanced stain protection? Now's the time to march over to your nearest Master store for the DuPont authorized carpet sale. But hurry, sale ends soon. Call 1-800-3MASTER for locations.
For centuries, the North Star has guided man's travels. Then the North Star system by Cadillac created a higher standard of automotive travel. Now its proven technologies will also guide the new Seville SLS, Eldorado, and coming October 7th, the North Star system will guide an entirely new class of luxury automobile, the Cadillac DeVille Concours. The advanced North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
For every woman who's ever been harassed,
Obviously, having a baby slowed you down.
been denied or put down,
You got a little soft.
your champion is coming.
Maybe you should go home to your kid and leave the reporting to those of us who can deal with it.
Because tonight, Murphy Brown gets even. Scott Bakula leaps into Murphy Brown, the season premiere, next.
A coin becomes a deadly plaything in the hands of a toddler.
Oh, my choking. My mind went blank.
A mother struggles to save her child on an all-new Rescue 911 Tuesday.
Frankly, I'm not as good at soccer as I am at chairball. All that's required for a good game of chairball is a typical office chair with wheels, a ball, a hoop, and 2 or more middle-aged guys trying to avoid actually working for as long as humanly possible. Switch! In this case, the work we're avoiding is putting out the Sunday magazine section of the Miami Record Dispatch.
Dave,
Hey, Ken, if it's about this week's column, no problem. I'm just putting on the finishing touches.
It's not about your column?
Good, because I'm stuck on that opening paragraph. A great idea for a humor column, one that practically writes itself, is... I figure once I finish that sentence, I'm home free.
Dave, do you find me attractive?
In what sense, Ken?
I mean, if you didn't know me and you saw me walking down the street, would you go, hey, there goes a hip, good-looking guy? Or would you turn your head away in disgust and say, who's that pathetic middle-aged guy trying to kid with his Kenzo suits and his funky hair?
Can I have a third choice?
Nope, that's it.
You know, Kenny, no offense, but if I didn't know you and I saw you on the street, I wouldn't notice you. Unless maybe you were lying in a parking space I wanted.
I'll buy that. But as you'd be shoving me aside with your foot, would you be saying, hey, that derelict looks pretty good?
Image problems, Ken?
Possibly. I met this woman at the dry cleaners just now, and I sensed this chemistry. Incredible chemistry right there.
At the dry cleaner?
Yeah. And she giggled, and I...
Always a turn on.
Yeah, and I was about to ask her out when she said, and get this, she said, here's your change, sir.
Ah, Harvard girl.
She called me sir. Walter Cronkite, sir. The Pope is sir. When did I become sir? I feel so old.
Mr. Cobb called you back during lunch. The art department is waiting for you. Oh, and Dave, your friend Dr. Baylor is here. He wanted to know if you're busy. So I said, Dave.
It's not that funny, Mia.
Okay, oh, God. You know, speaking of funny, I have a wonderful idea for your column.
Oh, gee, Mia.
No. Okay. Something that really peeves me off. That's the way we humorists start. Something that really peeves me off are all these dumb blonde jokes. Like the one I heard this morning about
Mia,
what...
See, that's a joke. I don't do jokes. I do observational humor. It's humor from stuff I observe in everyday life.
Oh, yeah, okay. Are all these dumb blonde jokes like the one I observed somewhere?
Mia, we are in conference about something urgent.
Oh, uh-huh. Get shot down again? Sir? Why did the dumb blonde stare at the orange juice carton? Because it said, concentrate. Andy Rooney would pay big for that.
Actually, I kind of like that.
Dave, hi, Ken. I want you to take a look at this before tonight's practice.
Now, Shell?
Well, I've got to go back to the hospital.
What, life-saving nose job? Emergency fat suction.
Oh, Kenny, right in the wallet. This is the tape of me and Carly's soccer team. You know, Dave is helping me coach.
You? Coach soccer.
Yeah, why not? It's a dad sort of thing to do. I'm a dad.
Let me fast forward this to yesterday's practice.
No, wait, slow it down.
Kenny, it's a bunch of 8-year-olds running up and down a field.
But there might be some cute divorced moms there watching. Maybe a widow. Stop! Stop the tape!
What? What?
Is that a naked woman?
It's a jungle gym.
No, it's not. Run it back.
Kenny, what do you think this is? Is a Pruder film? Come on, get it going. I want to get to me.
Okay, here we are at yesterday's practice.
Yeah, there. See the really, really tall kid? That's me.
What are they doing?
That's a drill, a footwork drill.
It looks like the hokey pokey.
It is.
Yeah, and there's Tommy shaking it all about. Wait a minute. Stop the tape. Wow, he looks so embarrassed.
Surprise, surprise.
I know that look. That's the look I used to give my dad when he did his Jerry Lewis impression. Oh, lady pricing! In front of my friends.
No, that's the look I gave my dad when he said to my prom date, "Here, pull my finger."
Your dad did that?
Twice.
2 girls?
No, 2 fingers.
Dave, this is not about you and your dads. It's about you and your son. And what you're doing now is going to affect Tommy for the rest of his life.
Boy, you can really light up a room.
Well, he's right. Kids want to play soccer, and I've just been goofing around. Time I acted responsibly and did the right thing.
So you'll let me show you a couple of plays?
Well, actually, I thought I'd quit.
Mom, can I have some milk?
It's in the refrigerator.
Where?
In the refrigerator where it usually is.
I don't see it.
Open the door.
It's not here.
Well, now you have to try something. I don't know if it's too much to handle. It's called looking.
I don't see it.
Refrigerator blindness. My God, it strikes another male member of the Berry household. There.
Oh. Where's a my glass.
All right.
Don't get up. I remember.
How'd practice go, hon?
Look at this, Mom. Look.
Ah, doesn't it hurt?
A little, but Dad says we've got to build up the brain calluses.
Dad taught you that?
Yeah, he made us real nice and do things over and over again, and he even yelled. It was so rad.
Yeah?
Thanks for opening practice, Dad.
Well, maybe next time you'll show your appreciation by holding the car door open for me.
Oh, okay. Oh, and Dad, don't wear those shorts next time. You look like a real dork.
What happened to you?
Ever been kicked in the shins 50,000 times by a bunch of cleated munchkins?
Well, not cleated. Want some ice?
Yeah, in a tall glass of bourbon. It's amazing how quickly, a once athletic body can deteriorate. It's also amazing how an out-of-shape, beer-guzzling, moon pie-eating body like mine can stand it all.
I guess the bloat gives you a certain buoyancy.
What are you looking at?
You have a lot of hair in your nose.
Thank you. Why don't you go torment your brother?
Okay.
Tommy really had a good time, didn't he? I'm impressed, Dad.
Yeah, they were all out there moaning and complaining and having a great time.
Including you?
Wasn't bad, really wasn't bad. Except there was this one fossilized old fud out there who kept saying, "Settle down, pay attention." The old fud was me.
I don't think you're a fossilized anything.
How about the old fud part?
I don't know. Have you seen yourself in those shorts?
You know, the way I picture it, adulthood is a big, sleek jungle snake swimming just around the bend in the river of life. It swallows you subtly, an inch at a time, so you barely notice the signs. You start using phrases like, "You'll put your eye out," or "because I said so." And before you know it, you're talking to your friends about the benefit of high fiber. You have monogrammed towels in the bathroom. All your furniture is nice. I mention all this to explain how I finally came to buy, at age 40, an amp for my electric guitar.
Hey, open up. I want that white thing.
New Whitewater Zest.
Zestfully clean. Yo, Dad.
The deodorant bar that rinses cleaner so your skin feels smoother.
I know what you want.
Zestfully clean.
Soap leaves a film you can feel on your skin, but Zest rinses cleaner than soap, so your skin feels smoother than soap.
I got the white thing.
New Whitewater Zest.
You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Smooth.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Here are tonight's winning numbers in the Premier Party giveaway. Match and win. A second prize, a first prize, or the $1 million grand prize. Play tomorrow on Rescue 911.
Annie Potts is back on Monday nights.
You call us fresh? Their eyes are cloudy, their gills are cut out. Wear the little medical alert bracelet.
All new Love and War premieres tonight.
Coming up next, the CBS Superstar continues with the season premiere of Murphy Brown. Just when she thought she'd gotten her life together, in walks Scott Bakula to shake things up. Check out the season premiere of Murphy Brown. She's next.
A policewoman and her father become targets of a serial killer.
He came after my son.
Charles Bronson, Dana Delaney, Donato, and daughter, Tuesday, contain some violent scenes.
This is CBS.
I'd like to tell you about a remarkable radio station.
Round, round, get around, I get around.
10 great oldies in a row on Oldies 97.1 KISN.
Pretty woman. There she was, just walking down the street.
All oldies, all the time. Oldies 97.1.
You have a remarkable mouth. We have a remarkable radio station.
Sleeping all day, crying all night.
Man, I'm gonna miss that.
MD presents Manny and Danny. Throwing up all over Uncle Bill's new shirt.
Man, I'm gonna miss that.
No more thumb sucking.
Life is gonna be hard.
Well, everything in life won't be hard. You'll always have the softness of twin-quilted MD bath tissue. Someday, we're gonna have to get jobs and wear real clothes.
Man, I'm gonna hate that.
Questions about air traffic control radar at 11.
BBC interviews with FYI, day 1. Mr. Fontana, how do you feel about accusations that American television news has become addicted to sensationalism in a desperate scramble for ratings?
That's a very good question. I know that I speak for the majority of my colleagues in saying that I find that style of journalism to be totally repugnant.
How then do you justify your own use of what has come to be called the ambush?
We interrupt this program to bring you this late news development, live from Newsroom 6.
This is Mike Donahue in Newsroom 6. 2 earthquakes shook southern Oregon this evening. The largest measured 5.6 on the Richter scale. It occurred about 8:30 this evening. Scientists placed the epicenter about 37 miles south of Klamath Falls. We have no reports yet of any injuries, major injuries, or damage, although parts of Medford tonight are without power and some stores are reporting the loss of items from their shelves. Again, earthquake tonight in southern Oregon, the largest, 5.6. We'll have more details for you as they become available and a complete report at 11.
Well, I suppose what Frank heard me muttering, softly, was that audiences have become accustomed to a faster pace and you have to grab their attention.
So what you're saying is Americans have a short attention span?
No, not at all. It's just that with cable we have so many more choices than you have in England. I believe you have about 4 channels. Well, we have, what is it now, 6,000? Not that this makes us superior, or you inferior, for that matter.
Journalism has always struggled between the obligation to inform and the desire to make a profit. Wasn't it William Randolph Hearst, born 1863, died 1951, who once told Frederick Remington, "You furnish the pictures, I'll furnish the war"? You should have studied.
Where's Murphy? You don't just drop a bombshell about making changes at work and then hang up the phone. I called her 16 times last night. What kind of woman lets her machine pick up at 4 in the morning? It's about time someone realized that yesterday the BBC is here.
Miles, Roger Kenilworth, BBC. You said something about a bombshell and changes. Would you care to elaborate on that?
That? That was a total exaggeration. Now, I do that sometimes just for the effect. It creates an air of excitement in the newsroom that increases productivity. The Japanese are doing it. I think it started at Sony. Would anyone like some coffee?
Miles, what the hell was that last message?
Murphy.
My kid hears that machine. I'm holding you responsible if his first words are, "Today's the day the BBC's here."
Hey, Roger Kenilworth, BBC, about these changes at work you wanted to discuss with Miles.
Changes? Did you say changes? Miles, have you been exaggerating again?
You know me. Murphy, can I see you in your office?
Of course.
Oh, we'll be out in a minute. Why don't you have some tea? We have 7 kinds.
I think we'd rather stay with you, and I'm sure you remember you agreed to give us total access.
Of course. We gave them total access.
And why shouldn't we? We have nothing to hide.
Oh, very well, let's proceed then.
And so we shall. Now, Murphy, about these things that are not really changes, but...
Adjustments. Minor adjustments.
I see. And what form might these minor adjustments take?
I might come into the office a little later occasionally. I might leave it earlier once in a while, and I won't take assignments out of the country quite so often, maybe take a day off now and then, but that's it, all done. Minor adjustments.
Minor? Tiny.
Roger, there's something wrong with the battery.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's all right, Raj. We'll just wait until you're ready. You're trying to kill me on camera, aren't you? One more shot to my system, and it'll be the first snuff film in the history of the BBC.
Will you relax, Miles? I meant what I said. I just want to spend more time with my kid, not get invited to Phyllis Schlafly's for butt cake.
We're not done talking about this.
Well, when are we going to be able to? The BBC's going to be here for a week. I hate this.
You hate it. I'm the one who just insulted the entire population of Great Britain. First, my unfortunate girly hair comment about Ringo Starr in 1964, and now this.
Well, I hope I didn't come off too brainy. That can alienate people, you know.
I'm ashamed of you guys. We stick microphones in people's faces every day searching for the truth. Now they want the truth from us. What does it say about us as journalists if we're not smart enough to hide it from them?
I'd like to get back to these adjustments, if I could.
And I'd love to talk to you about them, Roger. But right now, this reporter has to call Al Gore to get an analysis of the latest Clinton opinion poll. They say he can't dance, but watch this.
How should I know? I just got here.
Can I help you?
I'm gonna have to call you back. I think I just got busted on national TV for using an office phone for a personal call. Hi, Murphy. Peter Hunt.
I know. Saw your report on Bosnia 2 nights ago.
Absolutely spectacular piece of reporting. Roger Kenilworth, BBC. I'm a big fan.
Thanks a lot. Look, I'm sorry about the phone. I had a meeting upstairs. Needed to make some calls without the suits hanging all over me, so I wandered down here, saw a quiet place.
We both work for the same network, don't we? It's not a problem.
Peter, I must ask you about that riveting footage at the Serbian checkpoint. How did you manage to stay so totally in control when that guard held his gun to your head?
That's an interesting story, Roger.
And we'd love to hear it, but right now, Roger's going to be shooting some riveting footage of me calling Vice President Gore. Private number. Very hard to come by. But then, that's why I get the stories I do. Hi, this is Murphy Brown for Vice President Gore. I'd like to speak to the Vice President. Is your daddy home? Is there someone there who knows where he is? I'll call back. Well, I think it's about time for one of our story meetings. Those are very exciting.
Do you mind if I use the phone again? I promise I'll be done by the time the big hand's on the 6.
You know, I can see why those Serbian border guards were so charmed by you. Okay, people, let's get that story meeting started.
What story meeting?
What story meeting? Every week it's the same joke. Come on, we don't want to look unprofessional in front of our BBC colleagues, do we? Now, who wants to go first? Okay, I will. Violence on television. After years of criticism, the networks have finally agreed to a warning label.
You okay if I stole a cup of coffee? Just waiting for a call back.
Sure, be our guest. Guys, you all know Peter Hunt.
Yeah, nice job on that Bosnia piece.
Yes, top-notch reporting.
Same thing.
When that Serbian guard held his gun to your head,
You know, Peter, you can't really hear my phone from out here, so you might want to just grab that coffee and scoot right back in there.
Very thoughtful.
My pleasure. Now, as I was saying, will these new warning labels do anything to stop the epidemic of violence in our society?
No. I'm sorry, but I feel pretty strongly about this.
So do I. Obviously, these warning labels are...
Totally useless.
Excuse me?
All this bull about television violence, creating violence. I've been in places that rarely have electricity, let alone TV sets, and the people are managing to kill each other very successfully anyway.
If I could just finish my thought. The trouble with the labeling system is that it borders on censorship while offering little more than a Band-Aid to the problem.
What problem? People are inherently violent, and they're going to be violent even if TV is nothing but reruns of the Waltons.
That's one point of view, but there's a sizable contingent that argues that television exacerbates the violence.
I don't believe it does.
I don't care.
Just an example of the cross-pollination of ideas that occurs among journalists in our business. The give and take, the ebb and flow, the cease and desist.
You cannot ignore the body of research that says the amount of gratuitous violence on television is desensitizing
Oh, wake up,
us to...
Murphy. Violence is everywhere. Television is just reflecting it. That should be your angle.
Well, thanks for your suggestion, Peter, but since this really isn't your story...
Maybe it should be.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when you're a member of FYI.
Great, let's start talking.
What?
Check with the network. As of today, I'm part of the team.
It's time to find out why people are buying the Mercury Villager instead of our minivan.
After you, sir.
We all can't fit in here.
Oh, no, you just slide the seat back. It's actually very complicated.
Like a V6 leather CD player, if you like that sort of thing, which I...
How does it drive?
Great. I mean... It also has standard four-wheel anti-lock brakes.
The Mercury Villager. All this in the quality of a Mercury.
I have a new choice when I get a yeast infection. The new Monistat 7 combination pack. Soft, soothing suppositories for night. And for day, Monistat cream for external relief. Monistat, the #1 choice of women, the #1 recommendation of doctors.
If you're taking the leading prescription medicines for asthma, ulcers, or high blood pressure, and you need a pain reliever, the one doctors recommend most is Tylenol. Not aspirin, not ibuprofen. Talk to your doctor about Tylenol.
I'll be right down. Oh, that's my roommate.
Hi.
Does it take you too long to find jeans that fit? Get the jeans that fit the first time. Relax Fit jeans from Lee.
Why would these two guys be living together again?
You want coffee? Sweep up a cup.
Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. The all-new Odd Couple movie, Friday on CBS.
Hello?
Jeez, Frank, my note said count to 30. Meet me in the stockroom. What took you so long?
Well, who could read this? My cousin Sonny has better penmanship than this, and he lost his thumb in a pasta machine accident. Murph, what is going on around here? How could they bring in somebody new without telling us?
Did you hear him? He was giving me story notes. He was touching my stuff. I want him killed, Frank. Do you know where that pasta machine is?
Why do we need a new guy on the show? I'm the guy on the show. Jim's the man, I'm the guy. We don't need two guys on the show unless one of them is on his way out. Oh, man. Hello?
Murphy, what are you two doing together? My note said to space yourself out. Didn't you read my note?
So we tried, Murphy. Neither of us knows Sanskrit.
Look, it won't be long before that BBC crew gets suspicious, so can we just stick to the point?
Oh, Murphy's right. The stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Dumping a total stranger into the middle of a show that's been a success for 15 years. You just don't do something like that. Well, okay, maybe you add a female around the 11th year. Someone who can add youth and vitality and attract a Southern audience. That's it.
It's true. You keep adding people to a show and you end up like 60 minutes. Takes them 20 minutes just to introduce everyone. When you throw in 12 minutes of commercials and 5 minutes of Andy Rooney whining about how much air there is in potato chip bags, they should really call the show 23 minutes. I'd like to see how many Emmys they can win with a title like that.
I'm just getting a bottle of white out, Roger. I'll catch up with you in a minute. Go ahead. This is the worst day of my life.
Where'd you disappear to, Miles?
Mitchell Baldwin's office, to find out why the network hadn't told me we were getting a new reporter. But the only way I could talk to him without the film crew was to ask him to go to the bathroom with me. Oh, that's gonna look just great on film. Me trying to coax a 6'7" black man into the men's room without anyone noticing.
This is just wonderful. We're having conversations in closets, and you're doing scenes from The Crying Game. Oh, yeah. The BBC isn't going to suspect a thing.
Oh, what did Baldwin say?
Peter's contract was up for renewal, and everybody in town was bidding on him. They had to move fast. So fast they couldn't take 2 minutes to tell the executive producer.
Miles, could we stop talking about your petty insecurities? There is something much bigger at stake here.
Relax, Frank. You're not out.
Oh, thank God. We don't
need this new guy, Miles. This man does live reports standing on tanks wearing ripped T-shirts. That's not the way we do things at FYI.
Look, I am not thrilled with the way this was handled either, but Hunt's a good reporter, and he's strong on international. And you just said you wanted to cut back on overseas assignments, Murphy.
Oh, no, you don't, Miles. Don't you dare pin this on me. I had a hard enough time making this decision. Frank can pick up the slack.
Mr. Hunk in a bunker, you know, I have torn T-shirts in hot spots all over the world, but I change my clothes before I go on the air because I'm a pro.
It is just so easy for all of you to complain. Who's the one who has to carefully mix all the anchors together, blend and stir their talents, make sure no one's ego boils over so we can all enjoy a nice big bowl of FYI soup? That's right, Chef Miles. Well, I am not going to tolerate an instant replay of the grief you put me through when I brought Corky onto the show. Understood?
You put him through grief?
Corky, it was such a long time ago. Who even remembers?
Listen here, Murphy. I'm not the same hayseed who walked in here 5 years ago. This dog can hunt. So I want to know who said what, and I want to know now.
Oh, look, red pens. Oh, let's go try
Can I get a menu over here?
Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
And for FYI's newest correspondent, lunch is on the house.
Let's see. The announcement hasn't been made. Nobody in town's supposed to know. I'm guessing you're Phil.
Or one for the new guy.
It wasn't that tough. Wolf Blitzer told me he had a voice like snow chains on asphalt.
He's a fine one to talk. With a name like Blitzer, he should be flying over my house at Christmas with Rudolph's tail in his face. You know, I'm kind of surprised you wound up here in Washington. I always figured you for a guy like to be in the middle of the action. Last 6 months in Bosnia, before that Somalia, Baghdad in '91.
Come on, you could have gotten that from my travel agent. I expected a little more from a man who's supposed to know Deep Throat's home number.
Okay. You were born in St. Louis in '53.
You were born in New Jersey, and I'll spare you the year.
Your first assignment was city beat in Buffalo.
You were stationed in France during World War II.
3 weeks ago, last Tuesday, you walked into a makeshift hospital in Bosnia with a wounded kid in your arms and started wondering if maybe it wasn't time to get out.
You're good. Just a moment of weakness, though, that's all. I've always lived life on the edge, and I'm always going to. Prove it to you. Give me a double order of your infamous chili extra.
Son, you're even crazier than I heard.
Surely it must have been quite a shock to hear that FYI was undergoing such a radical personnel change.
Actually, Roger, the network makes those kind of changes all the time. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how that works right after I introduce you to this man. Phil, this is Roger Kenilworth of the BBC. No story on FYI would be complete without him. How about one of your more colorful, longer stories, Phil?
Yes, maybe.
So you're with the BBC. Let me tell you a little story that involves Margaret Thatcher, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and why we don't serve pretzels in here anymore.
Hello, colleagues.
Oh, Peter.
Hi, Peter. How you doing? I hate that guy.
I hesitate to say this, but Miles could be right. Perhaps we're resisting Peter solely on the basis of our own egos. I think it's time we invite him to join us and make him feel like part of the group.
Traitor.
Say, Peter, we can't let the newest member of FYI eat lunch by himself. Come join us, will you?
Thanks, but I'm taking something back to the office. You know, I've always found there's too much work to do to waste an hour socializing, but if you can spare the time, bon appetit.
I need to make a phone call.
I'm getting gum.
I have to go to the restroom.
I'm out of condoms. Have I shocked you? Well, then I've done my job. Because it's the 90s, and it's time that we all woke up and took responsibility for our own actions. And to all you young people in England, abstain if you can, but if you can't, be smart, be safe. Good luck.
I'm out of condoms? What in Sam Hill was that?
Look, it wasn't my fault. You guys took all the easy ones.
Wash your hands, buy lifesavers, check your weight, and get a free horoscope. There, right off the top of my head.
Jim, if you and the love glove are finished, our new teammate just humiliated us on camera.
You know, if you'd invited me to lunch my first day, I'd have been thrilled.
Oh, let it go already.
Well, I've tried noble. I've tried dignified. Now it's up to Murphy. What's your suggestion, Slugger?
All right, then. Once those nosy Brits are gone, I say we explain to that hotshot just how things work around here. Just a few more days, and it's the opening of hunt season. Agreed?
Agreed. Thought you might like your menus in here. Oh, and the soup of the day is clam chowder. This isn't about just the look. This is about how you feel.
With Salon Selectives.
Perfected in the salons of Helene Curtis.
The experts.
For the 6 ultimate salon shampoos, salon conditioners. Choose your combination.
It's personalized.
Makes your hair salon beautiful.
Now how will you feel? A week on the coast. And all she remembers is the hotel swimming pool.
I sometimes think my Taurus is safer than my living room.
I fill the entire back with groceries. And they still say there's nothing to eat.
For so many people, for so many reasons, Ford Taurus, the best-selling car in America.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Look who's cooking on the season premiere of Love and War.
The people in this restaurant deserve the best we have to offer.
Annie Potts is back on Monday nights.
You call us fresh?
They're dead.
Their eyes are cloudy, the gills are cut out. Wear the little medical alert bracelet.
All new Love and War premieres next.
Oh, she's a wild girl.
He's back! It's their first date.
I kiss all the day laborers. It keeps the rates low, and God knows they show up on time.
Faye Dunaway, Robert Urich. It Had to Be You, Friday.
Are you holding it up to his ear, Eldon? Okay. Sweet dreams, little camper. Sleep tight. And tomorrow, maybe you can play on the big boy swing.
I see you finally got Al Gore on the phone.
15 years I sat in that chair. 15 successful years. Now look at me. Dangling over the edge like a flying Wallennic.
But what are you complaining about? I'm not even in the same time zone as the rest of you.
At least you're not wedged in the middle. I can barely breathe here. You know what happens to mice when you pack them in too tightly? They go insane, that's what. Over.
You know, I'm never going to be able to do anything for the show until you people get past this thing of being threatened by me.
Now, see here. None of us at this desk are threatened by you.
So I guess it was Luca Brazzi who left the dead fish on the hood of my car.
We've been doing just fine for the past 15 years without you, bub. Especially the last 5 years.
Well, I'm not interested in doing just fine. I'm interested in doing the best news program on television. And if you people are willing to settle for less, then maybe you should all just follow Murphy's example.
All right, 30 seconds, people.
And what exactly might that be?
Obviously, having a baby slowed you down. But at least you were smart enough to cut back on your schedule when you realized you couldn't cut it anymore.
I'm spending time with my kid because I want to, not because I can't cut it anymore.
Hey, call it whatever you want. The point is, you got a little soft. And while that is a lovely quality in a mommy, it's not worth squat in a journalist.
I'm going to do you a big favor and forget I just heard that.
Look, I'm just telling you the truth. But if you can't deal with it, maybe you should pull back a little bit farther. In fact, maybe you should go home to your kid and leave the reporting to those of us who can deal with it.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to FYI. For your information tonight, Frank Fontana explores the hidden world under New York City subways. Corky Sherwood visits a Scottish wool factory, and our new correspondent, Peter Hunt, reports on the continuing crisis in Bosnia. First, Murphy Brown confronts the issue of television violence head on. And thank you, Peter, for that compelling if initially sporadic, report on Bosnia. This has been another edition of FYI. Good night.
And we're clear. Be sure to catch highlights of tonight's show later on ESPN.
Roger.
I'm not giving you the tape, Miles.
You can't put that on the air. It's sensationalistic. I mean, showing that would pander to the worst in your audience. The BBC doesn't do that kind of thing.
Of course we do, Miles. We just do it with an accent, so it sounds classier.
You pasty-faced, scone-sucking hack. I want that tape.
Come on, Murphy. Let's go to Phil's and get some ice for that hand.
In a minute. I think Peter and I have something to talk about first.
Oh, well, then maybe we should just hang around in case something happens.
Relax, Frank. She's in no danger.
Actually, I was worried about you.
Wait, guys, I'll catch up.
Oh, well, save you a seat, Slugger. I almost forgot why I gave her that nickname.
So?
So?
I'm waiting.
For what?
An apology.
I'm the one standing here with $600 worth of bridge work in my pocket. If anybody should apologize, it's you.
All right. I'm sorry I hit you in the jaw, but I didn't have a clear shot at your stomach.
Okay. That's better. By the way, you have convinced me there is too much violence on television.
Thank you.
Although your story would have been better if you'd used some of my ideas.
Oh, wow, you just don't learn, do you?
Sure I do. I'm standing farther away this time.
You know, you may be good, but there are 4 other reporters on this show who are just as good or better. And if you don't learn to bend a little, your dentist is going to be a very rich man.
Am I supposed to be scared by that? I've been through Beirut, Mogadishu, and the baggage claim area at Kennedy Airport. I think I can survive this neighborhood.
I just got it. How could I have been so stupid when it was staring me straight in the face? Well, good night.
Oh, right. And this is where I'm supposed to ask what's staring you right in the face? Only since I don't care, I'm not going to ask. Good night.
Nice try, Petey. You think you don't have to ask what's staring me in the face because I won't be able to resist telling you. But I can resist, easily. So long.
Well, there could be a few things staring me right in the face about you, too, you know.
You're bluffing.
You asking?
Are you?
Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The Giants need a quarterback.
Cover.
What'd you say?
This macho thing is just a cover. What did you say?
The Giants need a quarterback. I didn't think you had anything. What do you mean, this macho thing?
You know, the bravado, the war stories, the flak jacket with the subtle but prominent bullet hole. It's a great image, even if the guy behind it is starting to feel a little shaky.
That is such a load of crap.
Yeah? Well, then why did you take a job where you're going to be spending more time behind an anchor desk and less time in the field? Sounds to me like you're the one who's pulling back around here because you can't cut it.
I took this job because I wanted to, not because I... Nicely done.
Makes you want to deck someone, doesn't it?
All right, I had no business saying what I said to you. I probably would have decked me, too.
Maybe you did strike a nerve. Not because it's the truth, but because I know some people are wondering, am I pulling back because I've lost my edge, because I'm not as hungry as I used to be?
Tell me about it. Some people probably are thinking that I took this job because that last bullet was a little too close, or that last border guard a little too crazy, but...
It's ridiculous what some people lie awake worrying about till 2 in the morning.
2, try 4.
You up till 4?
Oh, I wasn't talking about me.
I wasn't talking about me either. I was talking about Jane Pauley.
I was talking about Stone Phillips.
Yeah, well, those people...
Yeah.
By maximizing the ratio of room given to passengers to room given to machine, a new category of vehicle was invented. Later, this same principle leads to cab-forward design. The windshield is moved forward for increased visibility and decreased aerodynamic drag. To provide greater lateral stability during high-speed cornering, the wheels are moved toward the corners. Presenting the new age of Chryslers, the Chrysler New Yorker, the Chrysler Concorde, the Chrysler Town and Country, the Chrysler LHS. 4 of the most eloquent expressions ever of form following function.
Hello? Hi, Petey, it's Murphy. How'd you get my car phone number? Same way I got your credit card number, but that's not important. Just don't let too much time go by before you open your trunk. You're bluffing. Then how do I know you're driving around with a red golf bag and a set of Tweety Bird club covers? What did you put in there? Well, it's nothing that a gallon of ammonia won't almost get rid of. I really wish we'd had our talk earlier. Bye.
Newsroom 6.
Go, Mike.
This is Mike Donahue in Newsroom 6. Police and fire officials in Northern California and Southern Oregon are just beginning to report the first damage that they have found there after tonight's earthquake. We have one report of 4 houses knocked down in the Weed Valley west of Klamath Falls. Power is out in many areas. Also, telephone service has been interrupted or in many cases jammed from incoming calls, people checking on their relatives. The worst damage appears to be in that area called the Weed Valley west of Klamath Falls. The earthquake measured 5.5 on the Richter scale. Preliminary estimates from the University of Washington placed the quake between Klamath Falls and Wairika, California, the epicenter, that is. Tom Hotman, city editor at the Herald News in Klamath Falls, drove through town shortly after the quake. He saw windows knocked out of a storefront in the downtown area. Elsewhere, he saw police and firemen with flashlights trying to determine damage, looking at buildings for structural damage. In Medford, patrons ran out of the Witham truck stop when the large glass windows began shaking. In Rogue River, lamps swayed, and we have one report from there that a child was tossed off a front porch. No word on injuries. No preliminary reports of damage in Roseburg. A quake was felt as far north as Eugene. Again, we'll have more details for you as they become available. A complete report tonight on Newsroom 6 at 11.
It's a big deal when hot and cool connect.
Cool treats at Dairy Queen.
Want a bargain? Get a move on to Dairy Queen for the 3-for-all, only $2.99. Get a 1/3 pound deluxe double cheeseburger. Add an order of golden fries and a big 21-ounce soft drink. Put them all together, and you've got a 3-for-all for just $2.99 now at Dairy Queen.
Hot eats, cool treats. We treat you right.
We know how to help you save during the Dodge 93 model clearance. Take that Caravan with the family value package you've been wanting. Yup, the one with air at no extra charge. For a total savings of up to $13.50.
Thought everybody else will have it except me.
You grew up in a tough neighborhood, Harlem.
Yeah.
So few kids make it in pro sports. So few kids. And yet when they see something like this, what's to keep a kid from thinking, well, gee, I ought to play basketball and forget about school and forget about reading and forget about writing and whatever? I mean, how do you counsel kids when you go back to the old neighborhood?
I think that has a lot to do with role models, and it's tough. I mean, a lot of people is not going to make it, and everybody just has to. Everybody has a talent, and you just got to look for it and find it, and just thank God, really, for it, and try to find it, and just say, hey, everybody's not going to be a professional basketball player, only select few, and you have to do other things in life. Being a broadcaster is not a bad job neither.
You can come do this anytime you want, Mom. He can come in and do this. You hope when he gets drafted, we don't know where he's going yet, but you want him to be close so you can go see him?
Yes, close by.
Because Kentucky was not, did you get down there? Did you get down there enough? You got down there sometimes? Mm-hmm. Well, if it's Golden State, it's going to be tough getting out to the West Coast. Philadelphia might be better. That's close by. We'll check and see where he goes and see if we can get down to some games. Mrs. Mashman, nice to have you here. Jamal,
thank you.
Congratulations to you. Thanks for being here. 17 before the hour. From the International AIDS Conference, the first Surgeon General's report on AIDS in 7 years. Well, Good Morning America continues here on ABC.
I was on a quest for ideal refreshment. Water was pure, but taste was non-existent. Some diet sodas had taste, but also a lot of artificial coloring. And I kind of fell upon it. 2-calorie Quest. Luscious fruit flavors. Sparkling spring water. Quest. Ideal refreshment. And it's only 2 calories.
Introducing signature flavors by Mocha Mix.
Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hi, can I borrow a little cream?
For?
For my coffee.
Oh, for your Oh, you've got to try signature flavors.
Okay.
They're these new flavored coffee creamers. They've got Kahlua.
Oh, I love Kahlua.
Of course you do. And they've got French vanilla and Irish cream. And they're deeply, deeply delicious.
Wow.
And they're fat-free.
Can I have some?
No, I don't have any. Bye.
What'd you give me the big speech for, then?
Clearwater Fish and Pond Supply has everything you'll ever need for a water garden or pond. It's the only place where you can actually see working fountains and ponds on display. Choose from their complete line of beautiful statues and figurines by Henry. There's molded ponds of all sizes and a large selection of koi. Clearwater is also the area's local distributor for rain jet pond lighting. If it has to do with ponds or water gardens, you'll find it at Clearwater Fish and Pond Supply in Aloha and these exclusive dealerships.
The $79 Super Buy at Montgomery Ward Optical. Complete pair of eyeglasses, free cleaning kit, and more, just $79.
Montgomery Ward Optical. I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. It's America's Day.
Tonight at 7:30 on KATU Channel 2.
Bill Ritter and Dana King with America's favorite morning show, now on Sundays. And they're favorites with the critics, too. They work well together and add a fine new duo to the U.S. television scene. Start your Sunday with Bill and Dana on Good Morning America Sunday.
7:45 right now. Today, at the International Conference on AIDS in Berlin, Germany, a new version of the U.S. Surgeon General's report on HIV and AIDS will be released, the first since Dr. C. Everett Koop addressed the issue 7 years ago. The updated version covers much new ground, and the outgoing U.S. Surgeon General, Antonia Novello, joins us from Berlin with some of the highlights. Good morning, Doctor.
Hi, Joan. How are you?
I'm terrific. Tell us a little bit about what's new in this report.
Well, the most important thing that is concise. It has all the data that we have accumulated in 7 years. It covers what gets you infected, what doesn't get you infected, and then what to do once you discover it. But most importantly, it addresses for the first time the issues pertinent to women. What are the symptoms? What are the differences? And more importantly, it puts it in the context of how can they protect themselves also against HIV infection. So in that sense, when you look about the 20 new topics that are incorporated, whether it's the nice scientific data that we have accumulated or the things that we knew before but that we have updated, it becomes quite an important prevention document for the future.
And what should women be most concerned about these days?
Well, the important thing is that AIDS is no longer a disease only of homosexuals, and I think that that is key. Second, that about 12% of all the AIDS cases in the United States are in women and in their reproductive ages when they are conceiving children. And more importantly, that when a woman is infected and she is pregnant, 1 out of 4 of her potential children will be infected with the virus. But there are symptoms and findings that are totally unique of women that are not so much prevalent in men, obviously because they are gynecological. So cervical dysplasia, pelvic inflammatory disease, or yeast infection that happens to be present and not going away with all the treatments that we know. So when this is so, most women, when they are naturally not infected with HIV, just don't decide to go to the doctor for pelvic examination that often. Imagine the women who are poor and have no physical care with symptoms that they do not know when they will find that it's too late. So this is a pamphlet in where you can reassess your risk, know what is pertinent to you, and then go directly and evaluate it, and then go to your physician. So I am really, really pleased that women, children, and adolescents are really followed very closely in this one.
You just mentioned adolescents, and that's what I was... This also really focuses on teenagers. What should teenagers be thinking about today?
Well, at this stage of the game, they are not infallible about getting infected with the disease. And, you know, about 20% of AIDS cases before the age of 30 could have been contracted when they were adolescents. So I think it's important for them to know that whenever they have sex unprotected with people that they do not know, even though I wish that they were not having it, because we know that 54% of all adolescents in the United States are sexually active by the time they are in high school, that they should be cognizant that it can happen to them, and that not necessarily you just have to have hemophilia, as they think is the only way about to get it, to be infected with the virus. So prevention, good common sense, and all the directions to tell you what gets it infected, what doesn't get you infected, and where to go for help.
All right, doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joan.
And it's 48 minutes after rising star Laura Dern meets the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park when Good Morning America continues here on ABC.
Now, Hart's long-term flea and tick protection is not just for white-collar dogs and cats.
Hart's Yummies?
The famous Hart's 2-in-1 flea and tick-killing collars now come in fabulous colors. So every dog and cat can feel comfortable with the powerful benefits of Hart's 2-in-1 protection. Protection that works for up to 5 months, wet or dry. Pets are jumping for joy wearing their 2-in-1 colored collars. Just ask any flea or tick. These are drop-dead colors.
After a week in Florida, you might believe anything's possible. After all, there aren't many places with pink birds, fish that fly, and rides you'll remember for a lifetime. And right now, to help you enjoy it, Alamo is offering a low weekly rate on an economy car in Florida with unlimited free mileage, which makes it easier to spend a week in a place where every day things happen that wouldn't if you were anywhere else.
You're invited to help us celebrate our 44th anniversary here at Ripley's Furniture. We're celebrating with store-wide discounts and a no-interest finance plan. And to kick this party off right, you can take an extra 10% off our sale prices through this Monday. We're offering America's finest furniture collections at savings too good to pass up. Yes, it's Ripley's birthday, but the party and the savings are for you, including a bonus 10% discount now through Monday evening here at Ripley's Furniture in Tigard.
I dreamed of this day all my life. But 2 weeks ago, when I couldn't fit into my wedding dress, I knew I had to lose weight fast. So I used the quick trim plan from Cybergenics, and I went from this to this and lost all the weight I needed to in just 2 weeks.
Quick Trim is the guaranteed all-natural diet plan, medically designed to help you lose the weight in just 2 short weeks.
For me, Quick Trim was a dream come true.
Available at GNC, Payless, Sears, Fred Meyer, and other fine health food stores.
It is now 9 minutes before the hour. Steven Spielberg's new movie, Jurassic Park, officially opened last night in Washington, D.C., with a rather flashy premiere, giving official Washington a first look at the recreated dinosaurs and a marvelous performance from last year's Oscar nominee actress Laura Dern, who is joining us this morning from Washington. Good to have you with us. Congratulations. It's officially launched now, right?
Officially launched, yeah.
The President and Mrs. Clinton, it was anticipated they were going to come. They didn't. Did anybody tell you why they didn't?
No one said. I mean, I think we all speculate due to lots of press and gossip, people's opinions about their connections with Hollywood and all these things, that there are problems in that area, which I think is really a true shame.
Disappointed he didn't come?
Disappointed, but also, you know, I'm proud to have a president that's aware of culture and art on any level. Is a great privilege and I think a necessity for the executive branch. Thank you very much. So you know, I think it's a plus. But
yeah, if that is the reason he didn't come, that
right.
all this speculation, it's kind of a shame that it's kind of a shame that kind of thing requires him to make decisions one way or the other.
Yeah, but we had a wonderful time. It was great.
Good anyway.
Oh, fantastic.
First movie you've made with this kind of hype really behind it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a completely different movie than anything I've ever done, I must say, because I've never worked with dinosaurs before.
Well,
but certainly,
hopefully.
Yeah.
You don't
well,
want to classify
in some
any
ways,
of those people.
yeah. Some of my leading men. Let's see if there are correlations. But definitely, it's being received already in a completely different way than anything I've ever done.
We have a clip. I think it shows the first time you encounter one of these big fellas, and
Yes.
we'll take a look at that.
Great.
T-Rex is 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex.
Sure, why not? Everybody has a T-Rex in their backyard, right? With all this kind of marketing and all of the, the big picture sort of flash that goes on with something like this, is it disconcerting? Does it get in the way of the film itself, in your mind?
Not really. I mean, I think that people's expectations are appropriate because technology has caught up with Steven's vision in that we've created a film in which technology has allowed dinosaurs to look so lifelike, and the genius of the men that have worked on this film, Stan Winston, Dennis Murin, all the men at ILM, Michael Lantieri, the effects are unbelievable.
The effects get so much publicity, but and Spielberg gets publicity for the effects he uses, but I've heard others say that he really is very much an actor's director.
He really is, much to my pleasure. He was wonderful to work with, and I remembered in the pursuit of doing the movie and agreeing to do the movie that films like Jaws and Close Encounters were character-driven pieces. And I think this is certainly, as we read in the book, a story where the characters kind of take us through this journey.
All of a sudden, you're getting sort of star treatment, too. I see you on the cover of a Rolling Stone. That's not a picture that I thought I would see, and coverage of your private life as well. Is this star treatment comfortable?
It's, you know, I mean, I enjoy being an actor and getting to do what I do. What I love to do is a great pleasure. And I think that, you know, gossip and things like that sometimes are a little strange, but that's fine. Hey, I get to be here talking to you, and I just saw, I must say, the Nightline set, which is the greatest thing.
Well, Laura Dern, best of luck. Congratulations, and good luck with this. Nice to have you here again.
So thank you so much.
See you.
Good to talk to you.
We'll be back.
Country crock churn style. The taste reminds me of Mom's butter on the farm. I loved growing up with that sweet butter taste.
Try the sweet, buttery taste of country crock churn style with fewer calories and no cholesterol.
Do you hate cleaning the toilet? Try my 2000 Flushes Blue. Its concentrated detergents clean and deodorize automatically up to 4 months. 2000 Flushes Blue cleans your toilet with every flush.
Time's up. 12 hours only. Time's up. For Wall Sisters Plus as they close forever in Tigard and Clackamas. Time's up this Thursday. 12 hours only. Everything must go regardless of price. Save up to 60% on over $1 million in fine oak furniture. Imagine a two-piece desk with return for $439. Four-piece entertainment wall, $569. Large TV cart with tape library, $199. Save up to 60%. Time's up this Thursday. 12 hours only, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Wall Sisters Plus. Closing forever in Tigard and Clackamas.
When you're looking for a clean break from your cola routine, you don't want to be sucked in by imitations. You want the only non-cola that picks up where colas leave off. You want the un-cola, 7-Up. When you want the taste of un, there's only one.
See your 7-Up display at G.I. Joe's and enter to win IndyCar tickets.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Dove Beauty Bar.
Coming up, a medical advisory on head lice, more serious than you may think.
We'll be right back. Hope you can join us for our second hour.
Accommodations provided by the beautiful Riga Royal Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, featuring Pinnacle Suites with cellular phone, fax machine, and personalized business cards. The Riga Royal Hotel.
On the next home, teachers spanking children, what to do when the law says it's legal.
Plus a family vacation you can afford, and the kids will love you for it.
There's no place like home.
Her nomination exploded into controversy. She never got her chance before the Senate. Now Primetime asks Lonnie Guinier what really happened.
When did it become clear to you that the administration wanted you to resign, to withdraw?
On Primetime tonight.
Charlene, it's your wake-up call. Time to leave for Mervin's Super Sale.
Mervin's Super Sale starts Saturday, 8 a.m.
Open, open, open. Hi, Bob.
Saturday, noon till 6 p.m. at Smith's Home Furnishing.
One half inventory, one half price for one half day.
That's right. Half of Smith's tremendous inventory will be half price for half a day.
Save on the Northwest's biggest and best selection of furniture, appliances, and electronics.
Plus, you can buy with 1 year deferred financing.
Saturday, noon till 6 p.m.
One half inventory, one half price for one half day. Only at Smith's Home Furnishing.
Your dream home awaits you at the Oregon Home Show. See everything for the home. Hundreds of exhibits. Special show prices, too. Put sizzle in your kitchen. Sparkle in the bathroom. Find all the products and services to make your home a decorator's dream at the Oregon Home Show in the Portland Expo Center this weekend. Fixtures, cabinetry, windows, appliances, outdoors, too. Landscaping, patios, pools, and spas. Save time and money. It all awaits you at our biggest home and garden show ever. The Oregon Home Show at the Portland Expo Center this weekend.
One man's extraordinary escape from satanic power.
Today at 9.
Oh, good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson. Wake up.
So
Gibson,
short nap.
wake up, Gibson.
And I'm Joan London. It's Thursday. It's June 10th, and we're back here in New York today. Flew in last night, all of us, right through a very big storm.
Yes. It's, you could tell inside the plane that there was a big storm outside.
How could you tell there was a big storm
We got
outside?
a lesson on lightning last
Yeah,
night.
we did indeed. Felt like a rock and roll star.
Well, it's that time of the year, too, where a lot of parents are getting everything together to send kids away to camp. And right now, this is also the high season for head lice. It's a relatively minor nuisance. It's very easily treated, but the cure can also have tragic results, as it did for one mother and child. And we are going to learn their heartbreaking story in this half hour and also find out how other parents can avoid the same fate.
If you've had head lice in your family,
Yeah.
it's a real chore.
And those are very, very strong chemicals that you use, and that's what we'll be talking about.
Well, you mentioned
Weather?
the storms
Yeah.
last night around which we flew. Well, in this half hour, I'll be telling you about this week's violent and dangerous weather, and we'll look ahead at what hopefully will be a not-so-violent and dangerous weekend forecast.
Good.
And we're also going to run down why there's so much tough weather around the country, right?
We're going to track the storm that brought dangerous weather, violent weather all across the country, and explain why the storm was as it was.
Very volatile season for weather. Also ahead on this broadcast, the legacy of choreographer George Balanchine. Now a new generation of male dancers is carrying on the master's work, and Joel Siegel's going to be here as well this morning with a review of the new Michael J. Fox movie. But let's go to Morton Dean now, standing by with the news. Mort?
Right, Charlie, and good morning, everyone. The president has to look hard to find a friend in Washington these days. Senate Democrats are trying to make over his economic program, and in the House, some Democrats are saying they now feel betrayed by the president's shift on the budget since they voted on it. ABC's Ann Compton has been following the story.
When President Clinton retreated from the energy tax debate, he told the Senate leaders to work out the details. But his retreat left angry voices among the House Democrats who felt they walked a plank to help him.
There we are, doing a tap dance out on the end of the plank as it's being sawed off from underneath us.
The president tried to reassure them during a teleconference with ABC affiliates. He won't deal with the Senate unless the Senate deals with all those factions in the House.
I could not agree to any proposal until they actually met with representatives of the House groups who voted for the previous program, including representatives of the conservative and the liberal groups. The conservative caucus, the mainstream forum, the freshman House members, the black caucus, the progressive caucus.
Plans for the black caucus to meet with the president this week are off as bad feelings linger. President Clinton sounded quite defensive, reminding the ABC audience he has accomplished a lot.
All I can tell you is I get up every day, I go to work, I do the best I can on the big issues. And as I said, if someone had told you before I took office that by June the 1st, we'd have 755,000 new jobs, the unemployment rate would have dropped below 7% for the first time in a year and a half, we'd have 20-year mortgage lows, 7-year housing sale high, you would say, well, that's not too bad for 5 months.
It's clear the president doesn't want every twist and turn of the legislative process to be another bruising battle. So until the budget gets to the final stage, House and Senate versions together, the president will not personally wade back into the fight. Mort?
And let's move on to another subject. The president has a big decision yet to be announced, and my question is when and who the Supreme Court.
And that figures into this. Why should the president bring to a littered battlefield his Supreme Court nomination? It's a very important one. First time in a generation that a Democrat has had the opportunity to name a Supreme Court justice. Two main contenders still in the field, not only Interior Secretary Bruce Babbitt, but a federal judge, Stephen Breyer, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Both of them under scrutiny here. The president wanted to do it by the end of the week, but the clearing process has taken a long time. He's learned his lessons to clear his judges and appointees before he makes the announcement.
Thank you, Ann. Ann Compton at the White House. With the president embattled at home, his leadership is being questioned abroad. It was questioned this morning at a meeting of NATO foreign ministers where Allied policy towards Bosnia tops the agenda. The meeting is being held in Athens, Greece, and ABC's Barry Dunsmore is there.
The alliance created to contain communism is struggling less successfully with a much more modest goal: containment of the war in Bosnia. To do this, Secretary of State Christopher has told the foreign ministers of NATO's 15 other member countries this morning that the U.S. will play a key role by deploying troops to monitor the situation in neighboring Macedonia. The U.S. will also provide most of the planes for air support for the UN forces assigned to protect the 6 Muslim so-called safe areas recently created by the UN Security Council. However, the U.S. wants this done under a NATO umbrella. But there is still great stress in the alliance over Bosnia, in part because of U.S. refusal to put troops on the ground there. And while in the old days, the Europeans used to complain that the U.S. was dictatorial, the latest European complaint is that President Clinton is not being dictatorial enough. In his opening remarks, NATO's Secretary General pulled no punches on that point.
There must be a clear sense of purpose, and there must be leadership. This is the most important lesson of the past months.
Berner's reference to the past month is the period when the Clinton administration chose to consult with its allies rather than dictate, the period of confusion in the West's Bosnia policy. By offering troops for Macedonia and air cover for the UN, the U.S. hopes to clear up some of that confusion. Barry Dunsmore, ABC News, Athens.
UN peacekeeping troops in Somalia are getting some help from the U.S. Sources say the Pentagon sending AC-130 gunships to Djibouti, the country next door to Somalia. That's to help the UN troops should they decide to retaliate against one of the Somali warlords, General Aidid. Aidid is the man blamed for the fighting that killed 23 UN troops from Pakistan this past weekend. Police in Washington, D.C. were surprised over the weekend while they were investigating a shooting. One suspect dropped what appeared to be a beeper. When police examined it, they found it was actually a gun in disguise. Authorities say that they displayed the beeper gun yesterday. It's a .22 caliber. The barrel folds into the square box that clips to a belt. The police say it poses a major safety threat, but it is legal. The manufacturer says it's made to be carried by women and that it's a defensive weapon. There was a hockey game in Montreal last night, but most of the violence was in the streets of Montreal after the game. Violence, even though the Montreal Canadiens had defeated the Los Angeles Kings 4-1 to win the Stanley Cup. The victory celebration included the overturning of cars, doors ripped off of police cars, fires were ignited, many store windows smashed. Some celebration. And finally, an election was held Tuesday in Kennebunk, Maine, near former President George Bush's summer home. Mr. Bush got some votes, write-in votes. One for Water District Trustee, one for Light District Trustee, and one for Sewer District Trustee. The town clerk pointed out that even if Mr. Bush had received the most votes, he would not have been able to serve because he doesn't live in Kennebunk. His summer home is in Kennebunkport, but at least he bested Mr. Clinton and Mr. Perot. And that's the news here at Charlie and Spencer.
They didn't want them for trustees of anything, I guess, up in Kennebunk. Thanks very much. Mort Spencer here, and we're sort of standing in front of the weather map today because this has been a sort of a classic week of tracking a storm as it's come across country, and it has produced some very volatile and unusual weather.
And strangely enough, it's that one storm system that has really produced all that violent weather all across the nation. We'll start with last weekend, where the storm developed actually up in the North Pacific near the Gulf of Alaska, came inland last weekend to California, produced rain and some rare snowfall, you may recall, in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Then as it progressed eastward, it was a storm that brought down a pool of very cold air aloft that encountered warm air at the surface. And, of course, that's one of the classic ingredients for instability in a storm system. It produced more snowfall Monday in Colorado and then parts of Utah and Wyoming as well. As it moved into the plains, not only did it pick up the warm air at the surface, but it also picked up a great deal of Gulf moisture that was streaming northward, another ingredient that's important in violent thunderstorms. So as this storm moved into the upper Midwest, it triggered more than 24 tornadoes, 18 of which hit the state of Wisconsin alone, 8 inches of rainfall in Illinois. This is some video taken of a tornado touching down in Sioux City, Iowa on late Monday night, Tuesday. And this is the aftermath and cleanup in eastern South Dakota after a couple of tornadoes hit that region on Tuesday. Now, the storm continues in our direction. And, of course, yesterday, Wednesday, violent thunderstorms scattered all over the Northeast. New Jersey, New York were hit. Parts of New Jersey experienced 92-mile-per-hour wind gusts from this storm. So it had the classic ingredients of violent thunderstorms, the colder air aloft, the warm air at the surface causing instability in the atmosphere. Then it picked up that Gulf moisture, and there you go with the storm.
Which is made for quite a week. As for today's weather...
That was the week that was. Now let's take a look at the day that is, or the day that we hope will be. It's going to be a mostly sunny day in the eastern third of the nation. Clouds departing the northeast, lingering light scattered showers up over New England. Scattered violent thunderstorms through the southeast this afternoon. It'll be a mostly sunny day in the southeast, but the heat and humidity will build up, and by late in the day, those classic summer-type thunderstorms could develop. More concentrated areas of thunderstorm activity will prevail over the southern plains and into the mid-Mississippi Valley today. There's still some violent storms there. Most of the remainder of the nation will be calm today, but as we move towards the weekend, you could see a lot of mess there in the nation's midsection. Heavy thunderstorms there. The coast will be mostly clear, no pun intended. And over the weekend, looks like, well, here we go back to the weekend again, all right? In the mountains over the weekend, you can look for showers and thunder showers in the Rockies, high temperatures in the 50s up north, 60s down south in the Appalachians. As we look eastward, partly sunny with highs in the 60s up north and 80s down south. That's a look at the national weather picture, and here's a look at the weather where you are.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Safino. It's 56 degrees with partly sunny skies in Portland. A pretty nice morning, but that's going to change this afternoon. Let's check our satellite pictures. I'll show you what's happening. This is a couple of hours ago. What I want to point out to you is this area of cloud out here in the Gulf of Alaska, right near this front. Watch as I switch to the most recent picture. You can see the clouds have thickened, and they're moving towards us, and that's going to lead to some showers and maybe some thunderstorms this afternoon. Look for some showers again tomorrow morning.
It's now 11.5 minutes past the hour, and when we continue in just a moment, an important story you won't want to miss.
You're invited to help us celebrate our 44th anniversary here at Ripley's Furniture. We're celebrating with store-wide discounts and a no-interest finance plan. And to kick this party off right, you can take an extra 10% off our sale prices through this Monday. We're offering America's finest furniture collections at savings too good to pass up. Yes, it's Ripley's birthday, but the party and the savings are for you, including a bonus 10% discount now through Monday evening here at Ripley's Furniture in Tigard.
Now, exclusively at Oregon Trailer Sales in Cornelius, Oregon, King of the Road trailers and fifth wheelers. Inside and out, King of the Road offers the most asked-for features at truly affordable prices. You'll be pleased by the impressive style and quality craftsmanship. When you stop by Oregon Trailer Sales in Cornelius, you'll see the exciting line of King of the Road trailers and fifth wheelers at the lowest possible prices, all without being pressured by a salesperson, guaranteed. So stop by today. Oregon Trailer Sales in Cornelius.
If you've got it, we have 3,700 over-the-counter medications to help you get over it. Pay less, because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Now Monistat 7 is $13.99, and all Stay-Free Maxi Pads are $2.88. Also, Tylenol Extra Strength is $4.59, and Mylanta Double Strength is $4.39.
Pay less, because you deserve more from a drugstore.
In about the time it takes you to read this, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee can go from 0 to 60. In about the time it takes you to read this, Grand Cherokee can go from 60 to 0. And in a fraction of the time it takes you to read this, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee could save your life. Maybe it's time for you to test drive one now at your Jeep and Eagle dealer.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
13 after. It is among a parent's worst nightmares that sometimes something that they do, however innocently, could somehow hurt their child. Consumer editor Paula Lyons joins us now with a story of one family that suffered through just such an experience.
You know, Joan, this story that we're about to see is a genuine tragedy. It involves a cure for a very common childhood ailment which, used incorrectly, caused far more damage than the problem for which it was prescribed. The green hills of Puerto Rico are a long way from the housing projects of Lawrence, Massachusetts, but it is here to the town of Ay Bonito that Rosa Santiago moved to raise her now brain-damaged son, Jose, and the rest of her family. Jose was born healthy, happy, normal, but today he's developmentally delayed, has cerebral palsy, which gives him motor problems, and takes medication to control seizures in his brain.
Jose really needs a lot of physical therapy, occupational therapy, and language and speech therapy. And he's 7 now, and he's really acting like he's like 2 to 3 of age.
It was at age 14 months that Jose came down with an itchy rash a doctor said was scabies, a parasite that burrows under and irritates skin. The doctor prescribed 2 ounces of a lotion called Quell. The pharmacist provided 4 ounces of the generic form known as Lindane. The doctor told Rosa how to apply it, but not, she says, how much, how often, or much else. Did anyone tell you that Lindane is a pesticide?
No.
Not the doctor?
No, no one.
Not
no
the
doctor,
pharmacist?
no pharmacist.
Did anyone say that you could harm your child if you used too much of it?
No, no one told me that.
In the absence of written instructions, Rosa thought she was supposed to use the lotion until it and the rash were gone. In fact, Lindane is a powerful neurotoxin that's absorbed through skin and is supposed to be used just once, especially on children. Rosa applied it every night for a week. On the 8th day, Jose had 12 convulsions. Jose's case may be unusual, where everything possible went wrong, but it shows just how powerful a toxin, Lindane or Quell, can be when improperly used, and it tells parents you can't always count on professionals to tell you that. When you learned that something you did actually caused the damage to your son, how did you feel?
It really hurt me. But it wasn't my fault. I found out it wasn't my fault because they didn't give me no instructions or no directions or anything.
Attorney Tom Kiley represented Rosa in legal action taken against the drug manufacturer and the pharmacy. A settlement without admission of guilt and for an undisclosed amount of money was recently agreed on.
First of all, Quell was prescribed for a child of 14 months of age. It's our position that it should not be used for children under 5, or if it is necessary to use it, that it should be used with very specific instructions because of the narrow margin of safety of this product.
Lindane, or Quell, as the brand name product is called, has been around since 1957 and is available in this country by prescription only. It is often prescribed for the treatment of scabies and the far more common head lice, which affect some 6 million American school children each year. There is little dispute that when used according to its lengthy instructions, there are few, if any, side effects. It is also true that instructions and warnings have been improved since Jose was injured. But a question remains. How many parents actually receive complete instructions, and how many read and follow them? We hear it
daily on the phone. I've used this product 4 times. I figured if once was good, then 4 times was better.
Deborah Altschuler is a founder of the National Pediculosis Association, or NPA. Its mission is to get parents to take head lice seriously, but to treat their children with the utmost care.
It's more important to know what you're doing than it is to treat right away.
The NPA wants parents to know that if the diagnosis is head lice, Lindane or Quell is no longer their only choice. There are a number of over-the-counter products that, though still toxic, are less so. The NPA does not recommend the use of Lindane on small children at all, and they are not alone.
It remains useful, but it's a drug that has to be used with knowledge and with caution.
And when it comes to children?
With children, it probably ought not to be used. Nowadays, there's rarely a reason to because there are good alternatives.
And Paul is here. What do these manufacturers say about this?
Well, essentially, the manufacturers, both of the brand name Quell and of the generic form of Lindane, say that their products, when used according to the directions, are safe and are effective. They also point out that the directions have been updated considerably since Jose was injured back in 1986, and if followed, will protect everyone.
All right, joining us also right now from WCVB in Boston to discuss the medical implications of this story is our medical editor, Dr. Tim Johnson. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joan.
First of all, let me back up. How does a person contract head lice or scabies?
Well, scabies are little mites that burrow under the skin and lay eggs, and they're transmitted by direct physical contact from one person or one child to another. Head lice, on the other hand, are little crawling insects that get into the hairs of the body and lay eggs, and these can be transmitted also by direct physical contact, but also by articles of clothing or articles of bedding that might be shared. So they're much more easily transmitted, and that's why head lice is so very common, as Paula said in her piece, millions of cases every year in this country.
Oh, sure. We were all talking about it here this morning, and most of us have had an experience with our kids away at camp or exchanging, you know, roller skating helmets.
Right.
How prevalent is it, and also, though, how serious is it?
Well, it can be very annoying, and the itching can be very severe, and to a child or an adult, very troublesome. Fortunately, it is not life-threatening.
How can a parent tell if a child does have this?
Well, they're very hard to see. They're virtually microscopic. So in the case of head lice, what we look for are the eggs that are laid on the hair shafts, the eggs which are called nits. They're little silver oval structures that attach themselves to the hair. That's what you look for with the magnifying glass. You have to make sure you don't confuse it with dandruff or other hair debris, but that's really the telltale sign.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to use any of those treatments if you didn't have to.
Right.
Then once you discover it, let's say once again, the proper thing to do.
Okay, if they're found, the first thing you want to do is find out anyone else in your family or in the child's school that has them, so that everybody who is infected can be treated at the same time. And the first step in the treatment is to use one of the products available. I guess you've got some to demonstrate. You showed some in the piece, all kinds of alternatives today to Lindane products, which are sort of on the decline. But whatever the product, it's got to be used very precisely according to directions on the product and those given to you by the physician. The second step is to try to comb out the nits, the eggs on the hair shafts, with special combs for that purpose. And then thirdly, and just as importantly, you have to take all of the clothing articles or bedding articles that have been used and shared and wash them in hot water and dry them in hot heat so that you can get rid of them permanently.
Yeah, because there's sprays also that you can spray around the house, right?
Well, they're not really recommended.
No?
Much better to use a vacuum device to try to clean up bedding and rugs and other things that might contain these products. The professionals tend to look down on the sprays.
Yeah, you don't want to spray a pesticide around children's bedding and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Tim, a lot of parents are very embarrassed when they receive this diagnosis. Are there people they should speak to about this, though?
Absolutely, Paula. They should report to their school or daycare center, wherever the child may be hanging out, because this is so common, number one. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, it cuts across all socioeconomic levels. It has nothing to do with uncleanliness or with poverty or anything else. And it's important to report it so that others can be identified and treated. Otherwise, it just becomes circular and you get reinfected.
And it spreads all over. For people at home, for more information on how to treat your children, you could call a toll-free number, 1-800-446-4672. Again, 1-800-446-4672, the National Pediculosis. I knew I'd have trouble with that one. We'll be back.
If you're thinking about joining MCI and Friends and Family,
this is the month to do it.
Because if you join this month, we'll give you a whole month
of long-distance calls free.
Well, wait, it gets better.
You can now save an extra 20% on 2 international numbers.
Just pick 2 numbers in over 200 places worldwide.
And combined with friends around the world,
that would be the lowest price international call you can
For
make.
MCI and Friends and Family customers.
With our holiday savings, you can be saving up to 50%
off MCI's daytime rates.
Thanksgiving,
Memorial Day,
On Columbus Day.
That's a great deal.
MCI and Friends and Family. There's never been a better time to be a member.
And our house dressing is a creamy honey Dijon.
Oh, what the heck. After that aerobics class, I can afford to be a little bad.
And save it for dessert. This is new Kraft-free honey Dijon.
Fat-free, cholesterol-free. Yummy.
Hey, just wait till you taste it.
This is delicious.
Well, it is made with real honey and that tangy Dijon mustard.
New Kraft-free honey Dijon non-fat dressing. If it tastes too good to be fat-free, it's Kraft-free.
I don't suppose you've got any Kraft-free chocolate cake?
At JCPenney, you'll find more things that last.
Because we put quality first. We feel better.
And look brighter.
With more things made to stand up.
More things designed to lie down.
And more things you can count on.
Over.
And over.
And while quality is something we look for first,
our great values have made us
a name that lasts.
Excuse me, but why aren't you flexing your teeth?
Flexing?
With Aquafresh Flex, the only toothbrush designed with a flexible neck. Flex helps you brush away plaque, yet it's still gentle to your gums. And 4 out of 5 dentists agree that brushing too hard can damage gum tissue. Look, Flex's shock-absorbing action is so gentle, it doesn't even damage the tender skin of this ripe tomato. Healthy teeth need healthy gums. So stop brushing and start flexing with the Aquafresh Flex.
You're watching KATU Channel 2 Portland. Now, in the spirit of the Northwest, this is Channel 2 News, brought to you by NutraSweet Spoonful.
Good morning to you on this Thursday, June 10th. I'm Dan Christopher. A brouhaha in the news involving the Portland Trail Blazers. Not the players, but rather the employees who worked at Memorial Coliseum. They've been laid off because as the Blazer management takes over management of the facility, they want to start hiring from scratch, but that's caused a lot of anger.
Ever worked at the Coliseum is more qualified than I am. It makes me extremely angry.
Blazer management says it considered the former employees along with the new applicants in the hiring process. Well, the new lineup has now been narrowed to 5 in the search for a new police chief for Portland. Among the semi-finalists named by the mayor are 2 top Portland police officials, Deputy Chief Charles Moose and Assistant Chief David Williams. The others are from the West Coast as well. In an effort to curb the violence outside of abortion clinics, Governor Roberts has officially approved legislation that now makes it a felony to block the entrance to such a facility, including doctors' offices. Violators are subject to a maximum fine of 5 years in prison. The Oregon House has voted to cut the salaries of state lawmakers in light of cutbacks facing state schools. However, if the Senate takes no action on the proposal, lawmakers instead will get automatic pay raises as required by law. Currently, lawmakers in Oregon get $989 a month, along with $516 a month for health and pension. They also get $75 a day while the legislature is in session. Well, is that too much? We asked our viewers in a telepoll yesterday, and nearly 78% of those who called said state lawmakers should cut their pay. Only 8% said they should get paid more. And there's no charge at all for the forecast, rain or shine. Matt has it for us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody. We have the sun and the shine right now. We're going to get the showers later on today as another system moves into the northwest. Let's check the satellite picture right now. You can see it looks pretty good over western Oregon. We've had quite a bit of clearing out there, but if you look outside, you'll see some clouds building, some rather billowy-looking clouds. This system's going to drop on in during the day today and give us showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow morning. We'll start to clear out by Saturday afternoon. Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. That's our update to this hour. Make it a great Thursday.
spoonful looks like sugar, measures like sugar, and tastes like sugar. But with only 2 calories per spoonful, there is one noticeable difference. NutraSweet Spoonful. Think of it as sugar, without all the sugar.
Orville Roth has been the personal grocer to Oregonians for over 30 years. The tradition continues with Roth's IGA's Oregon is Home celebration. This week you'll save on 8-pack bottles of Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and Dr. Pepper, $1.79 plus deposit. Assorted 6-ounce Bluebell Chipples, 4 for $3. A half gallon of Tillamook ice cream or frozen yogurt, $2.99.
I'm Orville Roth, and if you like true Oregon value, shop at Roth's Friendly Foodlander today.
At Roth's! George Smith Warehouse Sales, your direct connection.
George has Portland's largest selection of refrigerators and freezers with over 200 top brand models to choose from. George's low direct warehouse prices are the closest thing to wholesale. If you're watching KATU Channel 2 in one of these locations, you may be able to receive a clearer signal by tuning to the UHF channel listed for your area. This service is provided in the spirit of the Northwest by KATU Channel 2.
Jeopardy has a challenge for everyone.
In 1964 and 1967, this Cardinals pitcher was named World Series MVP.
Make time to take the Jeopardy challenge.
Tonight at 7 on KATU Channel 2.
Was Ben Alexander really possessed by demons?
That's what he says. Hear his extraordinary story on AM Northwest.
Today at 9, right here on Channel 2.
For weather forecasting experience, rely on Jim Bosley at 5.
I'm Carl Murphy, and this is the Centennial Committee from 100-year-old Farmersville, Illinois. Good morning, America.
Each one of those people 100 years old.
No. Good morning, America. I'm Joan London.
I'm Charles Gibson. Thursday, June 10th, back from California, here in New York, where we will spend the next couple of days.
Absolutely. It has been 10 years since the death of George Balanchine, one of this century's great choreographers, and the man who really put American ballet on the map. And his sure-footed spirit really lives on a whole new generation of young male dancers. And in this half hour, we will get a glimpse inside their really rarefied world.
There are some terrific young dancers in this country, and we're going to have a look at a couple of them just coming up in a few moments. Also with us in this half hour, a food editor who proves that gourmet fast food is not a contradiction in terms. You say gourmet fast food, it sounds like an oxymoron. But this woman's recipe is simple. Dishes prepared with 5 ingredients in 10 minutes or less. And we will put her to the test, make her prove it. Going to make a main course and a dessert. 5 ingredients, 10 minutes. And now with the news, 5 stories, 10 minutes. Morton Dean. Morton?
We'll try, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. President Clinton's leaving it up to Senate Democrats to craft his budget, a budget that will be able to make it through the Senate. And that has made some House Democrats very angry, especially since they voted for the president's version of the energy tax in the House, the so-called BTU tax. The president says it's okay for Senate Democrats to dump the BTU tax this week in exchange for some other form of energy tax, something Senate Democratic leaders are working on today. Some House Democrats are saying they feel ambushed by the process. To help us sort all this out from our Washington Bureau, ABC's political director, Hal Bruno. Good morning, Hal.
Morning, Mort.
I guess the president has the Humpty Dumpty syndrome. He's made so many people angry. How is he going to put his coalition back together again?
Well, at the moment, he's letting the Senate do the whole thing. And when this is over with, he's going to have a very tough time putting it back together. You see, what happened is there was some over-promising here. The House was reassured when they voted by a margin of just 2 to approve that economic package. They were assured that there weren't going to be that many drastic changes in the Senate and that he, the president, would see to it that they were protected. Well, they feel like they're out on the limb now, and the president has sawed it off because what's coming back from the Senate is very different from what those House members voted for.
Is this typical in your experience, Hal, or have other presidents handled that difference of opinion between both houses differently from the way Mr. Clinton has handled it?
It's very untypical because usually what happens, especially when your party has control of both houses of Congress, You have the leadership of the House and the Senate into the Oval Office, and you sit down and you work out ahead of time at least the key points of what the compromises are going to be. And in this case, the president is simply stepping back and he's saying to the Senate, okay, you go ahead and do it now, and you work it out with the House. And it's almost as if he's become a referee or a viewer instead of a participant in the process.
Hal, thanks very much. Hal Bruno, ABC's political editor, reporting from Washington. A 22-year-old New Mexico woman died yesterday from what appears to have been the mystery illness. 23 cases of the disease have been confirmed in Arizona and New Mexico over the last few months. 2 suspected cases are under investigation in Colorado. When a restaurant says food is light or good for your heart, what does that mean? The FDA is going to ask restaurants to explain. It will make them label food much the way supermarkets do. For instance, if a menu says diet meal, the restaurant will have to say whether that means low fat or small portions. The Bush administration had exempted restaurants from nutritional labeling requirements. And finally, there was a light show over New York City yesterday, not lasers, but lightning. The main attraction was the top of the World Trade Center, one bolt after another. The light show accompanied a series of violent thunderstorms that swept through the New York area. Luckily, it was a brief spell of rough weather, causing some inconveniences, but no major damage. Lightning, a symptom that summer is on its way, and I guess winter has officially ended, Spencer. The Canadians won the Stanley Cup. No more hockey at last.
That's right. You're right about that, Mort. Now we can melt the ice up there and go on into summer. And we've got weather that will melt some ice today. It's going to be very warm here in the southeast, down along the South Atlantic, Gulf Coast. High temperatures up around the 100-degree level. With high humidity, it's going to feel quite uncomfortable, and it's getting warmer and more humid up in the northeast as well. New York will see highs in the mid-90s today, warming up into the upper 80s in the northern plains, but now beginning to cool down a bit in the Pacific Northwest. A cold front has swept through that region. Highs there will reach only to the 60s and 70s today. Along with that front will come some moisture, primarily in the form of showers, but some thunderstorms along the head of that front in Idaho and Montana. Sunny in the southwest today and up through the Rockies into the plains. Southern plains will see more violent thunderstorms and drenching downpours of rainfall. Scattered thunderstorms along this frontal system reaching towards the mid-Atlantic coast. That's a look at the national weather picture. Here's a look at the weather where you are.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Safino. It's cool out there this morning. Temperatures are in the upper 40s and low 50s, and we have cloud cover. We're going to have a pretty good morning. We'll call it mostly to partly cloudy, but the showers and some thunderstorms increasing this afternoon and getting colder.
This weather report has been brought to you by Slim Fast. We're coming up on 36 minutes past the hour. Leaps of Faith. Young dancers carry on the ballet tradition when Good Morning America continues. Blah, blah, blah.
People think I never put on weight. Wrong. I couldn't even fit into these jeans 3 weeks ago. But dig this, I lost 8 pounds, drinking totally fabulous ready-to-drink shakes on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. Luscious strawberry, creamy coffee, decadent chocolate, French vanilla. The plan is easy. 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch, a sensible dinner, and even a candy bar as a snack. If I can do it, trust me, you can do it.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Dear parents, even if your car is working perfectly, it's still a dangerous place for a child who doesn't have a car seat. So through Project Safe Baby, Midas is making it easy for everyone to afford a Century car seat for just $42. Our cost. You see, Project Safe Baby isn't about making a profit. It's about making cars safer for children everywhere. That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
People get so emotional, it's the biggest transaction of their life. They look to you for that help, and you just have to guide them through that process.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Century 21, rated best at selling homes.
Major brand of soy sauce is naturally brewed. Kikkoman. It's a matter of taste.
What takes the cake? Smucker's Strawberry Preserves for a fresh taste. Jams are naturally fat-free, under 20 calories per teaspoon. Good taste starts here. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
It is now 22 minutes before 9 o'clock. George Balanchine was one of the great choreographers in the history of the ballet. Now, on the 10th anniversary of his death, he is being remembered by the ballet company for which he was artistic director and co-founder. For 8 weeks, the New York City Ballet is performing over 70 of Balanchine's works. And so Chantal is going to introduce you this morning to those following in Balanchine's dance steps.
A Balanchine ballet, a partnership of motion and melody so inseparable that in his words, you can see the music and hear the dancing. A decade after his death, Balanchine's innovation and inspiration endure.
He made America dance. He was, in many ways, the founding father of American ballet.
Peter Martins, who himself danced for Balanchine, is now at the helm of the New York City Ballet, the company Balanchine co-founded.
It's much clearer because the piano is not clear when it starts.
Ballet is woman, Balanchine was often quoted as saying, and yet he nurtured and inspired so many men.
He's the reason I started ballet. My parents brought me to see City Ballet, and it was Balanchine ballets that spoke to me.
Peter Bowl and other male New York City ballet dancers like Jock Soto and Damien Wetzel are lighting up the stage these days. They may be part of a new trend.
I think classical ballet for the male dancer in America is beginning to become more and more legitimate. Finally.
For men, though, the road to success can be bumpy. Jock Soto was the only boy in his ballet school.
When I was growing up in Arizona, it was quite difficult because when I turned 10, the local news station, of course, came and filmed us in a performance because we were trying to sell tickets. And I remember walking into school the next day and just being teased beyond belief.
And travel back and back. Times may be changing. This year, for the first time, the School of American Ballet, which Balanchine also launched, has a class made up entirely of boys. And perhaps someday, one of them will perform like this. When most of us think of ballet stars, we think of the glamour of the stage, we think of the discipline of this bar, and a certain aloofness that sometimes sets them apart from the rest of us. But when I spoke with these dancers, I found a completely different side. It's very funny and very down to earth.
I surf.
You surf?
I surf.
Damien the star surfs. I love that.
I surf. I try to, anyway. I remember the other night I was performing Apollo, and then there was a volunteer upstairs, and she saw me at the soda machine getting a Coke with my robe on and blue shoes on, and I looked as frumpy as anybody could look, and she said, "Is that Apollo? You've changed." But, you know, our own image doesn't match the stage image.
Balanchine changed ballet. He made the dancing swifter. He gave it a distinctively American form. Today, Peter Martins and his dancers are quite literally following in the master's footsteps.
One of the last words he said was to me, you have to do what you have to do. You see, maybe 10 years from now, they don't want to look at Serenade. Maybe people don't want to look at my ballets anymore. Who knows? I don't know. And so what? So you take it away. You do what you want now. You know, and that's why I'm so happy to see this huge interest in his work. You know, and it's not, I don't believe that it is just now. I think it's going to go on for a long time.
Athletes really as proficient as any, as you'll see in any stadium. 18 minutes now before the hour. Also on the subject of dance, Michael J. Fox trots out a new comedy. When Good Morning America continues, sorry.
sale.
During Mervin's Super Sale, save on Cambridge Classics Oxford dress shirts and splashy Body ID swim separates.
Let's go. There's jewelry involved.
You'll save 60% on all fine jewelry, gold, diamonds, and sterling silver.
Charlene, you'll thank me for this later. Open, open, open. Hi, Bob.
Mervin's Super Sale starts Saturday, 8 a.m.
Since 1919, Paul Schatz has built a reputation of offering quality home furnishings and personalized service for an outstanding value. And today it's no different. To make room for new merchandise, prices have been reduced on much of Paul Schatz's large selection of Drexel heritage. Save 30 to 50% on specially selected sofas, chairs, living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and more. We must make room for new arrivals today. Don't miss the savings at Paul Schatz, Tualatin and Delta Park.
I've got a reputation for building things that look good and last. That's why I use Sunwood brand pressure-treated wood. Sunwood has the rich, warm appearance of redwood and cedar and has a lifetime warranty against rot and termite attack. Now, I've used untreated wood, other brands of treated wood, but you won't catch me using them now. If you're going to build it right. And if it doesn't say Sunwood on this little yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
For a Sunwood project plan book and the Sunwood dealer nearest you, call 1-800-SUN-DECK.
Hey, did you get what I got? Ooh, you got what I got. I'm so tired of burgers. Hey, let's go to Arby's for some barbecue.
That's right, Arby's. They got this new barbecue for only 99 cents. Loaded with slow-roasted roast beef, marinated and simmered in tangy barbecue sauce.
Just like at Skeeter's Barbecue Pit, except you don't have to talk to Skeeter. Try the new barbecue, only 99 cents. Come on, what are you waiting for?
Arby's is different. Hey, different is good.
Bill Ritter and Dana King with America's favorite morning show, now on Sundays. And they're favorites with the critics, too. They work well together and add a fine new duo to the U.S. television scene. Start your Sunday with Bill and Dana on Good Morning America Sunday.
It is now 1:15. Neither rain nor sleet nor a canceled shuttle flight that would have gotten him back to New York last night will keep Joel Siegel from his appointed rounds. Today he's joining us from Washington with his review of the summer movies, but one in particular. Joel?
Morning, Charlie, and I do deliver Hollywood Hope's Jurassic Park. Well, it opens tomorrow. They're predicting a Brontosaurus-sized hit, but a few weeks into summer, there are already hits and misses. Cliffhanger should hold on to $70, $80 million. Dave, the first dark horse hit, should do the same. But on the other side of the box office, Sliver will soon disappear from view. Even if you've got a telescope the size of Mount Palomar's and not enough Plumber's Friends, the Super Mario Brothers, down the drain. With a summer full of mayhem at the movies, though, it's too easy for a film like Life with Mikey. No SEX, no special effects, not even a car chase, just to get lost. Please don't let that happen. It stars Michael J. Fox, whom I like a lot, and newcomer Christina Vidal. I fell in love with her. So does Michael J. Fox. They meet cute when she picks his pocket.
If you didn't steal anything, what is this?
And he's not the only one whose pocket she's picked, but he doesn't get mad. He gets impressed.
If you can do it in front of a television camera, what you just did in front of those people, we could be very wealthy.
It's true. Michael J. Fox is a former TV kid star turned kids agent, and business is tough. That's his brother and partner, Nathan Lane. Their one big client is Barry Corman, the Cereal King.
The Cereal King is here.
She's Cyndi Lauper. He's the world's most repulsive 12-year-old.
They're so cute at this age.
How much of this crap do I have to eat today? What am I, Job?
But he falls for Christina Vidal.
Va, 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 voom. Well, hello, Dolly.
Who's the troll?
Everybody falls for her except Nathan Lane.
We're now representing the omen. Did you check her head with a little 666? Yeah, there was only 2 6s. We got her just in time.
And they may sell her soul to the devil for her to get a take on her first commercial.
I hate it when it's raining. I should have known. It's my favorite little Sunny Friends. It means like a cookie for manic depressives.
Okay, it's stupid. You're right. It's a stupid line. That's what show business is all about. Acting like an idiot.
So that's what show business is all about. Maybe that's why I'm so good at it. And so do the people who made this film. No special effects, no car chases. This is a movie about people, love, loyalty, and big, big laughs. A perfect family film. Kids will love it.
Their parents will love it even more. This is the kind of movie, there were times I wasn't sure whether to laugh or cry, so I did both. Don't let this one get lost this summer.
Thanks very much, Joel. Life with Mikey, Michael J. Fox's new movie. We're going to have an interview, by the way, I should mention, with his co-star in that movie, Cyndi Lauper, be coming up next week. It is now 12 minutes before the hour, the 5 in 10 cookbook. Great odds for fast gourmet food. Yes, fast gourmet food. When Good Morning America continues.
I've built about 65 golf courses since I started. And for the golfers around the world, that seems to be enough. As I build a golf course, I really don't have a whole vision of what's going to happen when I start. Like here at the Tournament Players Club, this is the home of the pros, and this is their golf club, and they are a little more demanding. When the golfer steps up the first tee here, all he has is great expectations, and that brings him back. It's expectation. I'm the most frustrated person in the world when I play my own golf courses. The American Express card is welcomed at all these TPC golf clubs, and it does just as much for the bad golfer as it does for the good golfer.
American Express reminds you the card is welcomed at all kinds of golf courses, and Pete reminds you to keep your head down.
Time's up. 12 hours only. Time's up. For Wall Systems Plus as they close forever in Tigard and Clackamas. Time's up this Thursday. 12 hours only. Everything must go regardless of price. Save up to 60% on over $1 million in fine oak furniture. Imagine a two-piece desk with return for $439. Four-piece entertainment wall, $569. Large TV cart with tape library, $199. Save up to 60%. Time's up this Thursday. 12 hours only, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Wall Systems Plus. Closing forever in Tigard and Clackamas.
The all-new Ford Ranger is the best-selling compact pickup in the USA. Right now, you can get this Ranger with an incredible list of options at an incredible price. And since June is Truck Month, you'll also get the best selection of the year.
The Tina Turner story. What's Angela Bassett got to do with it? Find out tomorrow.
Right now, 10 before 9, you'd think that a couple whose professional lives revolve around food would be eating fancy gourmet meals at home every night. Not. Just ask Paula Hamilton. She's a newspaper food editor, and her husband is a management consultant to chefs and caterers. But getting dinner on the table at the end of a very hectic day was a challenge even for them. So, thus, the 5 in 10 cookbook was born. What is the 5 in 10 cookbook? Well, the cooking strategy is 5 ingredients in 10 minutes or less. And cookbook author Paula Hamilton joins Charlie and me with some examples. We're both going to be cooking. I think you've got Charlie doing a wonderful dessert, and I'm going to do some pasta, right?
It's so nice to be here.
Oh, good.
And we're going to do this in about 4 minutes.
All right.
We have some boiling salted water, and Joan, if you'll put the sugar snap peas in, and some
sugar snap peas. What, about a pound of these?
A pound, and
okay.
about a pound of fresh pasta.
And this is not the dry pasta. This is kind you get that's...
Right, fresh.
Fresh.
Okay, and then if you don't mind cutting up these sun-dried tomatoes, we'll make dessert.
All right, I'll do that while you start dessert.
We're already going to dessert?
Yes.
It's early for dessert, Paul.
This is a quick meal, Charlie.
This is quick.
I am melting 4 tablespoons of butter.
Right, and...
What am I making, by the way?
We're making glazed bananas over coffee ice cream. Ooh. So, Charlie, if you'll add the sugar, a tablespoon of brown sugar.
4 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon
brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
Stir it in.
I'm supposed to...
And a quarter cup of orange juice.
Okay.
And while you do that, I'm going to cut up the bananas. You know, bananas are the #1 selling fruit, in the country.
Yeah, I saw
My
that the
kids
other day
really love bananas.
Piece of trivia, and I was amazed by that.
And this recipe is because everybody has bananas and orange juice around, so it's really quick to do.
Also because glazed bananas are so wonderful. Yum.
Well, this is supposed to thicken up the sauce I've got here a little bit?
Do we have it on the highest possible heat?
No, we don't, but...
Now do you?
Yeah.
Because you turned it up to the highest possible heat.
I'm cutting these bananas in half lengthwise and crosswise.
I'm quartering these sun-dried tomatoes, is that right?
Perfect. Whatever you want to do would be fine.
I love sun-dried tomatoes,
all right,
too.
And I'm
Draw them and quarter them, Joe.
I'm going to add the bananas for you.
Okay.
All right.
What'll happen is the glaze is going to cook down and get thickened. It looks like it's doing great. And how's
Do I
the
need to flip these over at all? Or?
Well, just stir it, shake it a little. Okay, we're doing great. Do you think our pasta's done? Usually fresh pasta takes about 2 to 3 minutes.
If it isn't, too bad. This is TV and it needs to be done, so we'll pretend if it's not.
Okay.
All right, now let me just get some of the water out of here. And better to
what paper are you food editor?
The Oakland Tribune and also 4 other newspapers in Alameda County, Northern California. It looks perfect. Look great.
All right.
Okay. And then if you'll just add the tomatoes. The great thing with 5 ingredients, these are marinated sun-dried tomatoes, so we're going to use the oil right from the marinade.
Okay. Yum. So all I have to do is just put these sun-dried tomatoes on and then add the oil?
Right.
And what are the herbs there?
And Italian herb seasoning.
Okay.
So instead of measuring 5 or 6 different kinds of herbs, we're just doing that.
I'm going to go get the ice cream while you're doing it.
Good. This is doing great.
Okay. Boy, look how beautiful this is, too. Reach around that way, get my herbs.
Okay.
And I'll start to toss it.
And some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. When you only have 5 ingredients, it's really important that each one of them has a lot of flavor. This looks great.
Coffee ice cream. That's smelling pretty darn good, Charlie.
Now, is this
it's almost done. I think you can spoon it on.
Cooked down enough?
So that was dinner.
This is really, it is easy. It's beautiful. You feel like you're really eating a gourmet meal.
Using fresh ingredients.
Let's see, where's my fork here?
Great.
I'll give you a bite of mine if you give me a bite of yours, Charlie.
Should I help you, Susan?
You know what? Forget the bowl.
I'll show you mine if you'll show me yours. Show.
I beat.
Yeah, but everybody likes dessert more than dinner.
How am I going to do this?
Paula, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. See how fast you can do it? And how does it taste?
Joan, you look so graceful there doing that.
Oh, it's just right.
We'll be back in just a sec. We'll close here in the kitchen. I think in just a few moments.
This recipe and all the recipes featured on the program are in our bi-weekly newsletter, Good Morning America Extra. To order a subscription, call 1-800-543-4GMA.
Ever wonder how far you could get on $19? Where you could go? And what you could see? Well, now's the perfect time to find out. Because right now, Alamo is offering a special low rate on an economy car with unlimited free miles for just $19 a day. We call it Alamo's Great American Rate. One low rate that's good anywhere in America. And at $19, you never know where you could end up.
It's kind of unbelievable that people in America are eating 40 pounds of sugar a year. I was told about it, first of all, by someone who was a nutritionist and said, Sherry, you've got to make some changes in your diet. I have Equal. It tastes good to me. It's just there. I use it. I like it.
Equal has the great taste of NutraSweet and no saccharin.
I choose Equal.
Now you can also get Equal in large pouches for recipes and drinks by the pitcher. Look for the box that says Equal Measure.
Discover Kelly's Recliner and Sofa Showcase for the best selection of quality brand names at everyday discounted prices and featuring Portland's exclusive Flex Steel Gallery. Kelly's has all lane action furniture on sale. You'll find recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and sectionals. For the most comfortable seat in the house, it's Action Furniture by Lane. For the best selection of recliners, reclining sofas, and sectionals, it's Kelly's Recliner and Sofa Showcase, 122nd and Northeast Gleason.
Do you feel guilty when your hair needs a trim or when your teeth need cleaning? Of course not. But if you lose weight and then regain a few pounds, you probably feel guilty and then you eat. At Jenny Craig, you'll learn how to manage your weight as a guilt-free process, much like managing your hair or your smile. We call it personal weight management, and it works.
Get personal weight management at Jenny Craig. Pay as you go for just $6 a week. Call 1-800-92-JENNY.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Alamo Car Rental.
Spencer's got the weather now. Go.
Okay, well, he has a mouthful. I've got the map full. It's going to be a stormy day in the central and southern plains, violent thunderstorms and heavy rainfall will pound Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, parts of Missouri, and then up into the Tennessee Valley, scattered thunderstorms.
After I finished making my dessert, I offered Paula a bite, and she wouldn't take one. You don't trust my cooking?
Oh, I do.
Smart lady, huh?
Oh, here you go. That made her.
Both of them are
Really
delicious.
very good.
Yummy.
Very good. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Good Morning America, in our 4th year of being #1 for news and information in the morning.
A foul prank
I haven't even begun to fight Jeremy Hunter.
becomes a tug of war. Not so fast. And the rules are,
It drives me crazy.
there are no rules when it comes to loving.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Thursday, Robert Urich is back in Crossroads.
I thought we could take a vacation from our vacation. Backpacking up in the Timpanuki Wilderness.
A father and son against the odds.
Dad! Dylan!
An all-new Crossroads Thursday.
Can a person's body really be possessed by demons?
Our guest today says yes, because it happened to him.
Learn about one man's extraordinary escape from satanic power next on AM Northwest.
Want a hot price on the coolest looks for summer? Men's and women's washable silk shirts, loads of colors, only $12.99 and only at Burlington Coat Factory.
This year, for Father's Day, give him what he really wants, a genuine Lazy Boy recliner. At Northwest Furniture Galleries, we've made it easy. Pick from not 1, not 2, not 3, but from any of these 4 incredibly comfortable chaise recliners for just $3.99. Expecting company this summer? Northwest Furniture Galleries has the perfect solution with a great selection of hide-a-beds from Lazy Boy and Simmons. Your choice of twin, full, or queen size, just $4.99. Only at Northwest Furniture Galleries.
Ah, another weekend in the great outdoors, struggling with your ordinary mower. Sure, your mower can cut grass, but nothing can handle your yard like a Dixon. Because nothing turns quicker, nothing turns tighter, and nothing turns like a Dixon. So cut your mowing time in half and turn on a Dixon. Or Dixon, the #1 zero turning radius mower.
Should Schools Teach Job Skills? Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
Live from KATU in Portland, it's AM Northwest with your hosts Jim Bosley and Mary Sterrett.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Mary.
Good morning, Paul. Welcome to AM Northwest. Paul Lindman is filling in for Jim Bosley, who's taking some time off. It's nice to have you here.
It's good to be here to bring you up to date. Things happening around these parts. Well, not around these parts. The Bulls beat the Suns last night. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
That series is just going to stink. You might as well forget about it.
I know everybody knows that the Suns aren't going to win.
Yeah, the Bulls are going to run over them. And if you're from this part of the country, who cares about either of those teams anyway?
Well, the
I wish
Suns
they
are
could
closer
both
than the
lose.
Bulls.
Well, yeah, but Barkley and that whole deal. I mean, who cares about that series? And now we don't have hockey to watch anymore because Montreal beat L.A. last night. What are we going to do these evenings? What do you do?
Well, I don't watch basketball or hockey, so I really feel...
Before we get off the subject of basketball, though, we should mention about some special ladies in our audience today, and I think you'll be hearing their message later in the program. These are the state 8th grade girls basketball champions from Oregon City. And, yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. They are trying to get to the Nationals in Knoxville, Tennessee, and later they'll tell you how you can help them. But first time Oregon City's ever had a team go on this far, and we wish them well. Don't they look wonderful?
They look... In fact, I walked out, I said, you're all so beautiful. And I said, how old are you? And they said, 8th grade. And I said, gee, I never looked like that in 8th grade. And Paul countered by saying, you still don't look like that.
Good luck, ladies. That's congratulations, too.
Good luck to
Hope you go far. We'll be hearing more about them.
All right, let's check in with Matt Zaffino. I understand we have some really cheery weather news to discuss. Matt?
Ah, yes, Mary. Another in a long line of cheery weather forecasts for you. We've got some cold air coming in. It's going to drop the freezing level down. We're going to see snow at the passes by tomorrow morning. Let me show you what's happening with the satellite pictures. Looks pretty good right now out there. We have a nice morning. It's partly cloudy, about 56. All in all, not a bad morning, but the afternoon is going to change. The cold air is going to drop the snow level down to about 4,000 feet, and all of this is going to come right on into the Portland area. In fact, this line of cloud cover here has been growing and thickening and gaining strength, and that'll be with us. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon over the Portland area as all of that moves in. So that's what's coming in for tonight, these showers and thunderstorms, and then this cold air will come in and drop the freezing level down to the pass level. Some snow up at the passes by tomorrow morning. Now, Friday looks rather showery after today's forecast, which is also going to be showery in the afternoon, a high of only 65. But look at this 5-day forecast. Very cool, just 62 tomorrow, and then Saturday morning with the Rose Festival Parade, a low temperature of 46. But the good news is for the weekend, things are going to improve. After some chilly temperatures and some drizzle Saturday morning, we're going to clear out the rest of Saturday, and the rest of Sunday looks good. We'll get back on up into the upper 70s. So a couple of days of rather crummy weather, and then things improve over the weekend. Paul, Mary, back to you.
You know, the weather guys have really reached the limit when it comes to adjectives when they start saying crummy.
Crummy, yeah.
That's really the way to describe
Can you believe it? Snow in the mountains in June?
No, I know.
But, you know, let's enjoy the moment. I played golf this morning, and it was a beautiful morning before we came out here. I played with my brother-in-law, Gary, who's probably the worst golfer in the United States. But a great guy.
And he's at work now, so you feel
No,
safe.
I hope he's at home watching. He is. No, I don't think there's any problem, but he is the worst golfer in the United States. But a great guy, and I love to play with him. Okay, let's move on.
Yes, let's move on.
We have a return guest today, Ben Alexander, an amazing individual. Unfortunately for me, I got to participate in the interview the last time he was here because the boss was off traveling somewhere. He has a story to share with us. It's so amazing. I guarantee you, parts of what you'll hear this morning will seem absolutely unbelievable, and we'll challenge him on some of those. It's all chronicled in a book, his book, Out from the Darkness, One Man's Extraordinary Escape from Satanic Power. Once part of the occult, he's now one of its leading opponents, and joins us this morning to explain why. Please welcome Ben Alexander.
Good morning, Ben.
Good to see you, Ben.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Let's get up to speed real quickly on where you started. You grew up in the slums of London. You were an orphan. You were adopted by a couple. The father died. The mother was a prostitute. And you had religion as a youth. I mean, you were going to Hebrew school and all that, were you?
Very little religion, just a few traditional prayers and the Ten Commandments, and told once a year as a Jew to fast, and my sins were forgiven, and that was it. And there was no talk of a Messiah, no talk of life after death. And it all started when my father died 60 years ago. I was just 11 years old, and he was dying, screaming, "Please, God, don't let me die. I don't want to die. God, help me." Why was he screaming? Because he lived like most men live today, as if though they have 1,000 years. And you know, it's appointed unto man once to die, and after that the judgment. And this is what worries me, because there are so many people out there just living the way they want to, stepping out on their wives and doing all sorts of things, and then there's a payoff. And people don't realize how real this payoff is. But it was his death that started the fear of my getting involved eventually.
You had you were just terrified of dying. Various things happened in your life that only compounded that. Then your mother died, and you really just became kind of obsessed with the fear of death. But then you got involved in something that only made that worse. What was it?
Well, it was when after I came out the army in World War II, I became a taxi driver and picked up a fare that wanted to go to the Spiritualist Association of Great Britain. And I asked what it was, and they said, this is where we contact the dead. And naturally, I was really all ears. And then she suggested that I buy a book on the edge of the etheric, and the documentation was incredible, and it is very real. Psychics are real. You've had them on the program. You've seen some of the things they do. I don't dispute this, but what does God say about it? But I didn't know about this for 15 years until I got into the very extremes of psychic phenomena, which we will be showing the viewers a little later on.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You became a very active spiritualist in London, and you had this group that you went to. Tell us about the first time you went and what occurred, and what your reactions were to what was taking place.
Well, the first thing that happened was reading this book. And then we started off with Ouija boards. And it was incredible. There is no power in the Ouija board, but there is power in the person who plays with it. You see, people forget that they're made in the image of God. God is not flesh and blood. God is a spirit. And what happens, there is a passive submission on the part of these people to these foreign intelligences, which are demons. Like I said, there's no power in the Ouija board, and our kids don't understand, and Toys R Us doesn't understand, and Parker Brothers don't understand.
What did you do with the Ouija board?
Am I saying the wrong thing
when
I mention this? Because what is happening, my problem is that many messages of death are coming through to our children, and sometimes they happen because they make them a self-fulfilled prophecy.
But what did you see in these meetings?
What did I do? We started off with Ouija boards. Okay, and it went so fast that someone had to call the letter out and then someone would have to write it down.
It's just flying across the board.
Oh, absolutely. And there were some people who play with the Ouija board without even touching the pointer, and it moves. This is known as poltergeist phenomena. And you know, we have someone in the audience who was with me in England when he saw something like this happen.
But what actually was occurring at those meetings, and you kept getting more involved with them, how drastic did it get?
Well, what happened was, it was fascinating at first, but it's an unholy fascination. Then what happened next, we went into automatic writing. There were different handwritings which I was able to do and other people were able to do. Then from there, it's a progression. You become what is known as clairvoyant, where you can see things, you can see auras. These are being controlled by demons, and people don't realize this. Then you become psychic, and you're able to tell people what's going to happen in the future. And what is really happening, and they don't understand, and there's 150 scriptures by the greatest authority in the world concerning psychic phenomena, and that is God. And people are going to these psychics, and these psychics are telling them what to do, what's going to happen to them. They become the substitute saviors in the place of the Lord Jesus Christ for these people. And in America, this is spreading all over the United States of America. I watched a man here the other day. He was telling the person, he wasn't really a good psychic because he was asking them questions, because psychics usually don't have to ask questions, and they tell them what's going to happen to them and who they are.
You're talking about Bob Masters, who was on the program earlier, and later in another segment, we'll get into some specifics on what he was doing here. But with this Ouija board, with this automatic writing, who are you communicating with? Do you believe these were spirits that you were communicating with?
I believe that they were, at the time, the dead. As time went on, and finally I became a Christian, I found 150 scriptures to show us that I was not talking to the dead, but demons impersonating the
A lot
dead.
of people would listen to your descriptions of what went on in these seances and in these meetings and think that they were unbelievable and that these things just can't happen because these spirits and demons don't really exist. What proof did you have while you were in that room that that some of this phenomenon was taking place? What physical representation was going on in front of your eyes?
Well, it was a progression, as I told you, as it went along. For example, I was very jealous of my friend because he had so much more power. He'd take a clipboard with a piece of paper on it, and his hand would flash across that paper within about 20 or 30 seconds without even looking, and there would be the face of a dead person. And this was fascinating. And then we began to have Bibles would raise without anybody touching them and move across the room. This is done through materialization. These were the proofs that I was having. I was in a very powerful, strong circle. And by the way, no money ever was involved. No money was ever involved. This, we believe, was from God. We were into demonism.
You're asking us to believe that a Bible physically picked up without anybody hanging onto it and moved across the room? You could see these things taking place?
You know something, Paul? I've had, in my 28 years that I've been speaking about this, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people telling me this happened. In fact, you have in the audience someone who was a state representative here, who is a beautiful Christian man, came with me to South America, and then he came with me to London to the very person who I wrote about in the book, and he was sitting there. The man was sitting opposite me, the spirit medium, my friend, who we were trying to convert, and incidentally I brought him to this country, and he was going into trance. His face was evil, and then suddenly this picture lifted up by the wall. It was on the wall there, and it just flew across the room and dropped down.
But how? What was the force behind it?
The force behind it is what is known as ectoplasm. Ectoplasm has two definitions. If our viewers would go to their dictionary right now, they'll see the word ectoplasm. And the first definition is biological. Every human being has ectoplasm. This is our lifeblood. The second definition is a substance which emanates from a spirit medium which causes telekinesis the moving of objects by an energy force, and it has been scientifically proven.
We're going to talk about ectoplasm. We actually have some pictures of this phenomenon later on in the program. But is Ben taking all of this too far? What's wrong with calling 1-900 psychic lines? And didn't we have a psychic on the program this week just for the fun of it? We'll ask him these questions next.
Andy Ladd and Melissa Gardner have been in love all their lives, or at least since 2nd grade. But people grow up and grow apart, and through other worlds, other loves, and other lives, they'd always have each other and their love letters. See the play Time Magazine calls one of the best of the decade, A.R. Gurney's romantic comedy Love Letters.
Coming to Portland Civic Auditorium Theater, June 22nd through the 27th. Tickets available at all G.I. Joe's Ticketmaster locations or call 224-4400.
Take one tiny grain of color. Combine it with millions of others, and a beautiful new Armstrong floor begins to emerge, color by color, layer upon layer. It's the new Solarian inlaid color floor with a handcrafted look of extraordinary depth and richness. Right now, your Armstrong dealer has an exceptional selection of new inlaid color floors. See them soon and step on it.
I'm in the real estate business, and I have seen some real bad bathtub jobs in houses. They've tried to repaint them. They're starting to flake off. When I came upon the Miracle Method people, they said that they had a guarantee. I found through the hotel-motel chains down in California that they said the Miracle Method was the only one that lasted, that they had tried others themselves, and it hadn't worked. Oh, they treat me wonderful. Anytime I have any questions, just anything, it is not too little for them.
Are you unemployed, dissatisfied with your current job, or looking for new skills to enhance your current position? College America can help you gain the confidence and ability needed to start a career in secretarial, computerized accounting, hospitality and tourism, medical assisting, dental assisting, and pharmacy technician. With College America's intensive job skills training, you can be ready for a new career in as little as 7 months. Don't wait for your chance to start a better job, earn more money, and get the respect you deserve. Call College America at 242-9000. Classes begin this month and enrollment is limited. Call College America now, 242-9000.
They were children born of rape. Next Donahue, products of a violent act committed against their mothers. Now grown, how do they deal with the knowledge that they are children of rape? And why did their mothers, violated by strangers, decide to keep their babies? Meet these very courageous women and their now adult children. Hear their heartrending stories of what it means to grow up the child of a rapist. Next Donahue.
Watch Donahue Thursday at 3 on KATU Channel 2.
Tomorrow on AM Northwest, should white parents adopt black children? Meet a local couple who adopted 2 black girls and find out about the family's sometimes difficult interracial journey.
If you watched our program earlier in the week, you know we had a psychic on. Psychic Bob Masters joined us on AM Northwest. Before we continue with Ben Alexander, here's some of what went on with Bob, a discussion of deja vu. Not yet. Okay, we're getting a voice.
We can pause on that.
We can pause.
You saw the program anyway.
Yes, I saw the program, yes.
Now, you say he wasn't a good psychic, but do you believe he had special powers?
Oh, I believe he had powers, too. I believe he had powers. But this is a fact. I mean, God told us there would be people with powers. He said, there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and they'll show great signs and wonders, insomuch, if it were possible, they'll deceive even the very elect. Even Christians will be deceived on this.
We have that clip now. This is Bob Masters. We're talking about deja vu.
See, Earth is a lot like a hotel. We check in the morning, and we check out at night. Because the soul and the body are connected by the silver cord. Now, you maybe haven't heard of that. But at night, our spirit travels in other dimensions, and that's where we dream. And you can tell by where you slept in the universe by how you feel when you wake up in the morning.
Paul wasn't taking any of that too seriously.
Well, I know how I felt that morning. It didn't have anything to do with the silver cord.
I know.
What is that about?
Well, he's right about the silver cord. You read about that in Ecclesiastes. But about the soul going to have a rest and taking a flip round town, that's baloney. Because what that gentleman doesn't understand, and many people don't understand what is happening in this world, we're made of flesh and blood, but we're also spirit. And the Bible tells us in Ephesians 6:12, the Apostle Paul said, our fight in this world is not against human beings, but it's against these principalities and powers.
But we have had people on the show. In fact, I mentioned a friend of mine had said to me that she heard from 2 psychics we were going to have an earthquake on Monday. We had an earthquake, so some of this stuff comes true,
I don't deny that, because God said there are people like that, but he forbade it. Those people are telling everybody what's going to happen to them. You come to me and I'll tell you, plus with a price too. You'll come to me and I'll tell you what's going to happen.
But Ben, what harm can it do?
Well,
We're just having some fun.
I'll tell you what harm it does. Naturally, Satan wants you to have fun. What do you think he's got all these lousy bars for? And all the rest of the stuff. He wants you to have fun, but it's at a price. It is a price. What I'm trying to tell you is there is a spirit world, a demon power, and there is a Holy Spirit. A man's mind is the battleground, you see, and people are turned into psychics. They become the substitute savior in the place of our Creator.
There are a lot of people who say, as Paul does, astrology, it's just for fun, and psychics and Ouija boards and psychometry where you hold an object and read. Well, a lot of people have countered this by saying that the Bible's open to interpretation. There's really no direct reference to the fact that this stuff is bad. Is that true?
Isn't there? There's 150 scriptures at my back of my book which tells it. God said he hated astrology. In fact, in Isaiah 47:13, he said, go to your astrologers and go to your stargazers. And the text of the message was, he said, you go to hell. The astrologers can't help themselves, let alone help you. They are calling on other powers. And people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear what our Creator wants. They only want to hear what some other man says, because it's me, myself, and I, the great unholy Trinity. That's what they want.
A little bit later, we want to find out how Ben got from spiritualism to Christianity, because that's a part we've left out. We'll cover that later. Right now, Ben, we have a listener on the phone who's been hearing you, and apparently this person makes good use of a Ouija board. Good morning. Tell us about the Ouija board and why you think it's good.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. I was just listening earlier about Mary Starrett had asked your guest whether it was really believable or not. I do believe that the Ouija boards have extreme unseen powers, evil powers. My husband's father's death was predicted by a Ouija board. They were very heavily into it. The board told them to patent another board that would bring them more predictions. And the automatic writing started, just like he had said, after. And it's very, I think the forces are bad. And if people, you know, teenagers and stuff are delving into this, I really think they should take a second look at it. And
so you're agreeing with Ben?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It predicted my husband's death the day before, my husband's father's death the day before it happened.
So there's power there.
I've had literally hundreds of letters which I've sent to Toys R Us, who are the biggest purveyors of this, of kids who have received death messages and they have made them self-fulfilled prophecies.
Where's the message coming from?
The message is coming from a spirit. There's a passive submission on the part of that person, and they're allowing the spirit to take control of them, and it leads to demon possession.
Let's use another word here instead of spirit. Let's talk about ghosts. Now, when Bob Masters was here earlier in the week, remember he told the lady in our audience she had ghosts in her house, and his suggestion was you don't have to move, learn to live with them. And how about the slime in that movie Ghostbusters? We all enjoyed that movie. Just make believe. Ben says no, that's ectoplasm. We'll see his pictures and what he says is proof when AM Northwest continues.
From Touchstone Pictures, she loved him.
You know, you got the prettiest smile.
She feared him.
I'm trying to help, Ike.
You trying to help, Ike? They shared a dream.
Priceless, girl. Priceless.
She survived a nightmare.
Can't keep hiding black eyes. Take your hands off of me.
This summer, one movie tells the story of the courage and triumph of a woman in search of her freedom.
I don't care who's wrong or right.
What's love got to do with it? Rated R.
Sneak preview Saturday, June 12th. Check newspapers.
Why is Oregon Trailer Sales the #1 wilderness dealer in Oregon? Because at Oregon Trailer Sales, they care about their customers and want them to get the best value for their dollar. Featuring wilderness trailers from Fleetwood, You get quality construction and a variety of floor plans to choose from for less. Do yourself a favor. Shop and compare. Then come see Oregon Trailer Sales for the best deal and service guaranteed. Take TV Highway to Hillsboro, then 2 miles west on Baseline to Oregon Trailer Sales in Cornelia.
This week at Payless Drugs, we're chopping our prices. Payless, because you deserve more from a drugstore.
You'll love the looks of these savings. Try Lens Plus Aerosol Saline, only $3.99, and Pantene shampoos, conditioners, and Pro-V treatments, all $2.99 each.
Payless, because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Mayonnaise? It's on aisle
20. Pardon me, it's on aisle 20.
No, it's on 4.
Mayonnaise is on 20. Pickles are on 4.
Tuna's on 4. Pickles are on 6.
Pickles are on 2.
6.
2.
6.
I'm certain they're on 2.
No, they're on 6.
At Thriftway, we won't just tell you where something is. We'll take you to it.
This week, assorted Hershey's candy bars are 3 for 99 cents, and 4 pounds of bananas are just 88 cents. Now through June 11th at Thriftway.
That's from Ghostbusters, a very popular movie of a few years back. So, Ben, what's the problem? Can't we even have a little fun with ghosts?
Well, you notice in that film they mentioned ectoplasm many times because that's where they got their theme from, ectoplasm, which is a scientific fact. And 99% of the people that saw that didn't even know. They probably don't even know what ectoplasm is.
I thought it was a movie deal.
No,
you know?
But it's a real fact, like I said. It's in the dictionary, 2 definitions. The first definition is biological. The second definition is a substance which emanates from a medium which causes this particular phenomena. Satan cannot create, but what he does, he takes God's creation and produces these things.
What's the substance that comes out of the medium?
That's ectoplasm.
But what is it?
Scientists have taken that and cut it. And they found it's epithelium. This is a stuff which is your actual lifeblood. It's under the skin. It's your actual lifeblood.
And in these seances and stuff, you've actually seen this coming out of people?
Yes, but it's an extremely rare phenomena and a very dangerous phenomena. I once saw the ectoplasm turn to blood. Twice, actually.
We have a picture of this. Is that right? This is a picture of ectoplasm, and tell us what it is we're seeing.
Well, very briefly, because it's so difficult to describe. You see it coming out of the mouth and out of the solar plexus, and there are 2 trumpets there. There's no psychic power in the trumpet, but you would hear 2 voices taking place.
These look like regular trumpets, but different voices at the same time.
You will hear 2 voices. They build a voice box. You see, Mary, what you're asking me to do is explain the supernatural, and I can't do it. But this man I never saw, but I saw another clip of another man who was at one time my best friend.
Is that Jeff?
This one. No, this is not Jeff. This is where your poltergeist phenomena takes place, and it's, see, what you're seeing is poltergeist phenomena, the actual ectoplasm holding it and throwing it around. He was, that man was a Welsh coal miner, and eventually we believe he got killed through the ectoplasm because it's dangerous. This is my friend here, and you see it coming out of the mouth and out of the stomach. I have actually pulled that out at one time, and at one time it flashed back and he began to hemorrhage, and another time the blood came from his mouth. It turned into blood. These are dangerous things. Like I said, no money was involved. It is no fraud. The Ghostbusters knew about this stuff. They made their theme. It's a scientific fact. It's real. But I know if I was sitting in the viewer's place, hey, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I know it happened.
Well,
you
know, anybody could fake up some pictures to make them look like that. My question to you is, why would a spirit, a demonic spirit, want to have this stuff come out? I mean, what's that all about?
Well, I believe these demonic spirits, you know, we talk about haunted houses. I don't believe ghosts go around looking for real estate. They go around looking for people. And people are demon-possessed. But one other thing I want to say, there's a lot of guys out there in the deliverance ministry, and they're dangerous stuff, because they say you've got a spirit of anger, a spirit of lust, a spirit... That's not a spirit, that's a work of the flesh. The word spirit in the Bible means an attitude or a disposition, so you've got to be careful with this stuff.
All right, now you're in a room, and trumpets are forming out of this ectoplasm.
No, the trumpet is not part of the psychic phenomena. It's just there to amplify the voice.
The voice. And a voice comes out. You've actually had people's faces and voices change?
Materialization, where they materialize, yes.
All right. Now, sometimes you say that things that only a dead person could know are revealed through someone who's a spirit medium. So that would lead us to believe we're contacting the dead, but that's not true, is it?
I believe it's contacting demons. There are some scholars who believe there's a possibility that you can contact the evil dead who are in the place of the departed spirits waiting for the final hell, but that's a long subject to get into.
You get into this stuff, and you're seeing this take place at your group sessions. It's pretty fascinating. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not really causing you any harm. What caused you to leave it?
Well, eventually, I came over to America with my wife, who was the secretary of the largest spiritualist association in the world, to open up a spiritualist association. We went to a church, and everybody was nice, and I was going to proselyte them, and then they gave me a Bible, and the first page I opened to, it said it was detestable to contact the dead, and that blew my mind. And then there were little side helps, and I found 150 scriptures against what I was involved in. You know what the problem with America is? All we think of is material things, and they don't think that one day they'll finish up the richest man in the cemetery. What they don't understand is more than that. There's an eternity, and they don't look to the creator of this eternity to find out what the truth is.
There's a lot more to discuss. We haven't asked the question about what's the danger involved with 1-900 psychic numbers. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about cults. Ben Alexander says in these confusing times, they're tailor-made for the insecure. More in a moment.
The next time you need a dentist, consider Tender Care, where you'll find experienced family dentists with a tender touch. All Tender Care dentists have been hand-picked because they follow the highest standards of dental practice. You'll also appreciate the Tender Care On-Time Pledge, a free exam if we keep you waiting more than 15 minutes. Also, new patients of all ages get to take Dental Ben home with them. Look for Tender Care in your yellow pages for quality dentistry delivered tenderly. Call Tender Care. There's a Tender Care dental office near you.
Do you know how quick and easy it is to make a bubbly?
Stick your head in the refrigerator.
My mother. With the bubble Italian bread shell, all you add is fresh tomato and chicken, whatever, and you get a fresh homemade pizza. Actually, it's more than a pizza.
Bravo!
And in just 8 minutes, you get a meal. So always keep a bubble in the house.
Or two.
Right, Mama, with the new Bubbly Family Twin Pack.
It's great family value.
Of course, Mama. Remember, it's more than a pizza. It's a bubbly.
Sunday, June 13th, every fan with a full paid admission gets a free wallet with valuable coupons inside. Many have cash, $50, $500, even $5,000.
What's this? Put it in the water. Okay. Look, Hot Wheels. Cool.
It's more than cool. It's Revealers. Custom paint exclusively Hot Wheels. Oh, but look, if you find the golden token, you win the grand prize. One of 1,000 Hot Wheels bikes. A blue token wins the Revealers 10-car collection. One in every 72. No purchase necessary. Not for use with some set. Everyone gets a coupon for a free Dairy Queen Kids Cone. Hot Wheels Revealers. Details on package. A surprise in every pack.
So sweet. So irresistible. No wonder everybody's picking California grapes, the natural snack.
The Oregon City Junior Girls AAU basketball team is having a garage sale to raise funds for the Junior Olympics on June 11th and 12th at Danielson's Hilltop Thriftway in Oregon City. For more information, call 655-1455.
Ben Alexander is our guest this morning, the author of Out from Darkness. What's the problem with, and what's the big deal about calling 1-900 psychic numbers, or reading your horoscope in the newspaper, or playing with a Ouija board, or any number of things that people do?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I know what the deal is. I know that I was one of these psychics, and I didn't charge any money. I believe this was from God. There is a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. What these people are, There's a passive submission on the part of these people to these foreign intelligences, which we read about in the Bible, demons, and they are taken over. You know, one of the problems that we have, they think Satan is easy to recognize because he goes around wearing red underwear. He doesn't. He comes as an angel of light. And this is something that people don't understand. The whole problem is, Mary and Paul, the problem is people do not read the greatest author in the world. They do not read the Word of God. They're only self-indulgent. They only want to know what's going to happen. The great unholy trinity, me, myself, and I, and they go to their substitute savior. And it's a violation of the principles of the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus said, take no thought for the tomorrow. Only the heathen wants to know what's going to happen to him tomorrow. He said, I take care of the birds, the flowers. How much more will I take care of you? But people don't want that. They want more.
Let's go out to the audience for a question or a comment. Good morning. Who do we have up here? Good morning to you.
Hi, my name is Terry. I wanted to know what you thought about the game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, the game of Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is a fantasy role-playing game. The whole game is filled with witchcraft. And what happens, one of the problems, is that many of these people become psychotic. They can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. And we've had hundreds of documented stories where, for example, when I was in West Virginia some time ago, the headline screamed at me, 15-year-old boy slices the throats of two kids, aged 5 and 7. He'd been playing Dungeons and Dragons with them in the woods for months. Then all of a sudden, he thought it was the real thing. He couldn't tell the difference. And he killed them both. And that's where your big problem is.
Let's take another phone call. Good morning. You're on AM Northwest.
Good morning. About
Hi,
3 years ago, my friends...
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, we're not hearing anything. Let's go back to that phone call. What's the problem? Yes? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
About 3 years ago, a friend of my children's brought a Ouija board into our home, and much to my dismay, because I do believe that you can open the door to things that you don't want. And ever since then, we've had a lot of strange noises and sounds in our house. It is not associated with the weather. We can be in a bedroom downstairs, and it's like somebody's walking and going through our home. At times, we've smelled perfume. When we don't have perfume because we're really allergic to it, we can feel heavy breathing. And how do you get rid of what you've got once you've let this into your home? Because I believe in it, and so does my husband, and he grew up in a very Christian home, and it's very frightening.
You know, I just spotted somebody in the audience, a very dear friend of mine, who had the exact same experiences, exactly that. And what this lady says, I've had hundreds and hundreds of calls. You open the door. Once you get that Ouija board in your home, you start playing with it. Some people it doesn't work for. That's what makes him so dangerous, the inconsistency of Satan. But some people it works for, and you've invited these things. How do you get rid of it? It is not always easy. The first thing you have to do is to become a child of God, to receive the Holy Spirit, and greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world. But even at times where there have been Christians, this sometimes happens. And sometimes people are psychic, and things they do know what's going to happen in the future. This is a temptation to get involved. As much as you can have physical temptations, you can have spiritual temptations.
Is she doomed?
No, she's not doomed. No, because she has, if she is a Christian, she has the Holy Spirit, and greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world. The answer is the same answer to all our problems. Look, there's only one answer, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's the answer. And when the Holy Spirit is in your life, then greater is he. Those things can't do a thing to you.
Will they go away?
Not always. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I have even Christians who have said this happens, but you have to keep praying. Because, you might ask, will Satan go away? Hey, you can see him on television every day. He's running the whole show here. Satan is the god of this world system. But nevertheless, that's all going to finish, folks, one of these days.
I'm sure Ben wasn't making a comment on the management of this particular TV station.
No.
Just in case the front office is watching.
Actually, this is a good show until you get these psychics on. I don't know
All right, on that note, we will end. We'd like to let you know that Ben Alexander will be appearing in the Portland area to share his message. He will be at the Gresham Church of Christ Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, and you may call that number, 665-5744, for more information, Sunday at 9:30. His book, again, is Out from the Darkness, One Man's Extraordinary Escape from Satanic Power by Ben Alexander. It's always a pleasure to visit with you, and Ben, Godspeed. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks.
We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Please stay with us. Coming up on AM Northwest, credit may be cool, but cash is where it's at. Find out how to get the best deals when a professional buyer has tips on getting the best deal for your money.
TenderCare dental patients talk about their dental experiences at TenderCare.
Everyone was so personable. The dentist was so nice, and I like everything being explained, and his office staff was just wonderful.
The only reason I can smile is because he's done this work, and he's brilliant. He wants to make sure your comfort is first and foremost. I recommend him to all my friends.
For quality dentistry delivered tenderly, look for the TenderCare ad in your yellow pages. There's a TenderCare dental office near you.
George Smith Warehouse Sales, your direct connection.
George has Portland's largest selection of refrigerators and freezers with over 200 top brand models to choose from. George's low direct warehouse prices are the closest thing to wholesale.
Spots on suede, see him fade with Rub-Away.
Tools got rust? Put your trust in Rub-Away. Rub-Away, hundreds of uses. The little stick with big cleaning power.
Hey, good looking, good deal. Hey, good ideas. You got that eye appeal at Montgomery Ward Optical.
The $79 Super Buy. Complete pair of eyeglasses, just $79. Get great frames, quality lenses, plus free scratch-resistant coating, free lifetime adjustments, and for a limited time, a free cleaning kit. All for $79.
Hey, good looking, great value at Montgomery Ward Optical.
My vacation was only 2 weeks away, but not in a bikini. No way. I had to lose weight fast, so I used the quick trim plan from Cybergenics, and I went from this to this and lost all the weight I needed to in just 2 weeks.
Quick Trim from Cybergenics is the 100% guaranteed all-natural diet plan, medically designed to help you lose the weight in just 2 short weeks.
For me, Quick Trim was a dream come true.
Available at GNC, Payless, Sears, Fred Meyer, and other fine health food stores.
Cash is king, but if you're strapped, you might be tempted to use credit to get what you want. Don't do it. You can get more bang for your buck by following the old rules, which bear repeating as the new way to buy in the 90s. Here to tell us how is the author of the book, Never Underestimate the Power of Cash Deals, PhD Edward Sanders. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
This almost seems like it's such a basic principle that we have to remind people that you can get better deals by paying cash. Why do we have to go back to the basics at this point?
Because, Mary, we see things like personal bankruptcies rising, marriages breaking up by high statistics of personal financial problems. We see our own national deficit upside down. So there's a very basic thing that I learned as a kid in the 50s, seems to have has been forgotten and is certainly not being taught.
Well, let's go back. You've got a list of 10 basic rules of things to do all the time, and we'll start with number 1. The first rule is to pay with cash, and this is the principle that goes behind your book. So pay with cash for things like cars and houses and refrigerators?
No, not big ticket items. Pay with cash does a couple of things. One, it controls spending. So if you don't have the money, you don't spend it. Allow somebody to stay within their budget. Secondly, and more than ever now, as the retail environment is becoming viciously competitive, it empowers an individual to be able to negotiate a price when they have the cash in hand. And obviously to avoid interest charges that would be accumulated on a credit card.
And that can add up.
Oh, big time.
All right, number 2 is to use credit cards, but do so intelligently. How do you do that?
Pay them off in 30 days. If there's items that you need to track for budgetary purposes, great for the credit card. Pay it off in 30 days. If there are items that you think you might be returning because of wrong size fit, whatever, it's easy to do a credit card reversal. So when we say intelligently, the worst thing is to go walking in the mall with credit cards and saying, oh, I'm just window shopping, and if I see anything good, I'll pick it up.
There's something that you said, and that is never go shopping, to just go buy what you need, but don't go out looking for anything, because that's where you get in trouble.
That's where you get in trouble, not unless you have the disposable income. If you can say, I've got this much just to blow and have a good time, great, enjoy yourself, have fun. But when people are trying to budget, get out of debt, it's a personal discipline.
All right, number 3, and that's to forward buy where applicable. What is forward buying?
Buying ahead of your actual needs. Best example that I can think of, and the most obvious one, is in January, right after Christmas. Christmas cards are 50 to 60% off, and some nice ones. The list goes on, particularly in the grocery store, where there's items that are specially priced.
So look ahead, get the bargains while you can, knowing you are going to use those products. Request a price quotation when needed. What does that mean?
Big ticket items. There's nothing wrong with calling up and asking for a price. Items such as appliances, computers, particularly where there's different models and features, to identify what they are and ask for what that price is today, and compare 2 or 3.
Use order sheets when possible.
Yeah, ideal application at the grocery store. The homemaker sits down and plans what we're going to have for the week or the month, puts together a menu, fills out on the order sheet what is needed, and shops for those items. Still keeping an open area for the forward buy, but saying, I only have $100 to spend.
Stick to that.
Right.
All right, number 7, barter if possible. This seems like something we've gotten away from as a society.
Right, and that's trading. If I'm a good computer operator, if I can wash windows or paint, and I need to buy a product or service from you, maybe you need some of those services that you're willing to trade for.
And don't be embarrassed, you say, to ask. It doesn't...
Not at all.
It's not necessarily a cheapskate
No.
route. It's the way to get what you want by
That's
giving
right.
something to someone else who wants your services.
Exactly.
Number 8, use buying services.
Buying services, we have in our book a number of 800 numbers. The one we specifically refer to is automobile buying services. That give you the actual price, the values of cars, and in some cases can even have a car delivered to you at a local dealer.
And you can save a lot of money.
Oh, big time.
Promote partnerships.
Partnerships is when you need a service performed. A typical example that I share in the book is home remodeling. And a firm comes in and gives you a price. The partnership is maybe you or some members of your family can do some of the work. Remove old carpeting, clean up, take some of that out that you'd normally have to pay for.
All right, and the last one is to be certain to have it all in writing.
Right, particularly the big ticket items, the items that we've just talked about. A contract serves the purpose so that later on there's no misunderstandings.
Good idea. When we come back, find out how some stores may be cheating you out of your money. Stay with us. You ever wake up feeling fat? Do you wind up trying on different outfits only to find that nothing looks right? Well, AM Northwest is looking for women who need ideas on what to wear when they're feeling fat. Call the producers at 231-4610.
Come on, Charlene. It's your wake-up call. Time to leave for Mervin's Super Sale.
During Mervin's Super Sale, save on Cambridge Classics Oxford dress shirts and splashy Body ID swim separates.
Let's go. There's jewelry involved.
You'll save 60% on all fine jewelry, gold, diamonds, and sterling silver.
Charlene, you'll thank me for this later. Open, open, open. Hi, Bob.
Mervin's Super Sale starts Saturday, 8 a.m.
It's Holiday Rambler's 40th anniversary, and you get the presents. Your Pacific Northwest Holiday World RV centers have drastically reduced prices on every motorhome in stock, every Holiday Rambler, every Illumilite, every 1000. Some as low as invoice, 27 to 38 feet, gas or diesel, Class A or Class C, all must go. Get Holiday Rambler quality at Brand X prices. Register to win your share of $200,000 in 40th anniversary prizes. Nobody can give you more for your RV dollar than your Pacific Northwest Holiday World RV centers.
Why is Tux medicated pads the brand of hemorrhoid relief hospitals trust most? Because when hemorrhoids flare up, Tux provides soothing, cooling relief on contact. Tux, the brand hospitals trust most.
Cliff here at IHOP. Lately, people have been saying, Cliff, you spend entirely too much time at IHOP.
Hi, Cliff.
Sorry I'm late. Oh, sure, I drop by once in a while for the weekday breakfast deals. I mean, I'm talking real breakfast here. And I'm in and out of here in no time. Morning, Cliff. Hi, Harry. But I really don't spend that much time here. Bill.
IHOP weekday breakfast specials from $1.99 to $3.99. IHOP weekday breakfast specials from $1.99 at 10 Portland area International House of Pancakes restaurants now.
Come to Oregon Craft & Floral's incredible parking lot sale and save 40 to 75% on hundreds of specially selected items. Now through Monday only at Oregon Craft & Floral.
Let the buyer beware, especially when it comes to deceptive practices by some merchants. But how do you make certain you don't wind up being a sucker for a retail con? When you walk in the doors of a store, what are some of the things you have to watch out for?
Oh, sale items. Sale items, you need to identify a brand name by reputation, by quality, and comparatively shop. The more expensive the item is, look at other stores and see what that has traditionally sold for.
What could some of the merchants be doing once you're in there? Are there some things that they can do to separate you from your money?
Suggestive selling. So in other words, you go in to buy a particular item, they suggestively sell the complementary items that will go with it. So from $1, you're up to 10, and that's easy to do.
All right, now when you're buying big ticket items like cars and appliances and furniture, do you have to do things any differently?
You, as I share in my book, use the skills of a professional buyer. And those skills are breaking it down in terms of identifying the model, the specifications, all the specific items. Example, Mary, like appliances, there are several different features just on a standard washing machine. And a price for one may not be fair because in another store it has several more features. So it requires the time and patience to do that analysis and make sure apples are apples.
How do you get the most for your money when you are strapped? You don't have the cash. You need to use your credit cards to supplement the money you don't have. How can you do that wisely, or can you do it wisely?
Well, I compare it to the person that needs to lose weight and wakes up one morning and says, I need to lose 20 pounds. That's not easy, but it can happen over a period of time through discipline. And what we say is establish a tight budget, convert to cash, start paying those debts off and putting a few bucks away. And just like losing that weight over a period of 3, 6, 9 months, a year, there can be a beautiful success story told.
What would you suggest if people could do 1 or 2 things in order to get started? Because getting started, like a diet, is tough. What should they do?
Convert to cash right away.
Now, again, if you've got a problem and you're not doing well without your credit cards filling in there, what do you do?
Well, then you don't want to be in a negative cash flow situation where you actually are spending more than what you earn because you know what that'll wind up at. So consequently, adjust your lifestyle to get your living standard in synchronization with your income.
I'm sure that you've run across some really tough cases, people who just can't seem to stay out of debt and can't seem to stay away from the credit cards. Is there a solution to that short of cutting up the cards and just completely walking away from that?
Consumer Credit Counseling Service does a great job. For people that need that help, we reference that 800 number in the book, and coincidentally, last week they were kind enough to give us a national endorsement for the book for that type of preventative action.
To keep people from having to go to them.
Right.
All right, the name of the book is Never Underestimate the Power of Cash Deals. And if you would like to meet Ed, he's going to be at book signings today from noon until 2 at Walden Books in Clackamas Town Center. Again, from 3 to 5 at Walden Books at Lloyd Center. And tomorrow from noon until 2 at Salem Center. And I'm sure he'll be able to answer some of your questions. Ed, we thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much.
We'll take a break and we'll come back. Stay with us. Did you have a funny or romantic experience at your last high school reunion? Well, call the AM Northwest producers with your high school reunion stories at 231-4610.
Your dream home awaits you at the Oregon Home Show. See everything for the home. Hundreds of exhibits. Special show prices, too. Put sizzle in your kitchen. Sparkle in the bathroom. Find all the products and services to make your home a decorator's dream at the Oregon Home Show in the Portland Expo Center this weekend. Fixtures, cabinetry, windows, appliances, outdoors, too. Landscaping, patios, pools, and spas. Save time and money. It all awaits you at our biggest home and garden show ever. The Oregon Home Show at the Portland Expo Center this weekend.
Since 1919, Paul Schatz has built a reputation of offering quality home furnishings and personalized service for an outstanding value. And today it's no different. To make room for new merchandise, prices have been reduced on much of Paul Schatz's large selection of Drexel heritage. Save 30 to 50% on specially selected sofas, chairs, living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and more. We must make room for new arrivals today. Don't miss the savings at Paul Schatz, Tualatin and Delta Park.
If you missed the bonus round on the last Wheel of Fortune, here's another chance to play. There's an N. Person is the category. And we've got a C and a couple of A's. Can you pull a rabbit out of the hat? Stay tuned for the answer. We'll be right back.
Are you unemployed, dissatisfied with your current job, or looking for new skills to enhance your current position? College America can help you gain the confidence and ability needed to start a career in secretarial, computerized accounting, hospitality and tourism, medical assisting, dental assisting, and pharmacy technician. With College America's intensive job skills training, you can be ready for a new career in as little as 7 months. Don't wait for your chance to start a better job, earn more money, and get the respect you deserve. Call College America at 242-9000. Classes begin this month and enrollment is limited. Call College America now, 242-9000.
Did you solve the puzzle?
Magician?
Yes. Very good. There's a romantic getaway to the Caribbean for the winner of the next round 1 puzzle as second honeymoon week continues on Wheel of Fortune.
Tonight at 7:30 on KATU Channel 2.
Their steaks were in a juicy sizzle, but always the same old sauce. When through the heat they saw a stranger giving something new a toss. It's Bullseye brand new steak sauce, the stranger said with pride, with Bullseye Big Bowl Taste all bottled up inside. So they rounded up at Big Bowl Taste. This steak sauce can't be beat. Then turned to thank the stranger, but he vanished in the heat. Bullseye brand new steak sauce can't be beat.
Right now it's time for news. Let's go down to the Channel 2 newsroom where Dan Christopher is sitting by. Good morning to you, Dan.
Good morning, Paul and Mary. Good morning to you. Gang life through the eyes of gang members. They were given cameras, and we see their world in a new photo exhibit now opening. We'll have a preview for you. Also, the famous Rose Festival Rose Show opens today at Lloyd Center. All that primping and pruning has paid off. We'll take you there. Tonight's precious pet. In this case, a pet made an infamous appearance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And if the rain has you down, downright depressed, you're not alone. We'll have reports on these and other stories and a whole lot more on Channel 2 News tonight at 5 o'clock. Enjoy your Thursday. Mary and Paul?
Thank you, Dan. Coming up tomorrow on AM Northwest, we're going to discuss a very interesting, controversial question. Interracial adoption. Should white parents adopt black children and vice versa? There are those who say never in any circumstances, and those who say a good home is better than no home at all. So it's going to be real interesting. Give us a call if you have an opinion about this, and make reservations to be on the program at 231-4610.
Also, that first item that Dan mentioned in the news, the young gang members that were given cameras, a couple of those fellows will be on the program tomorrow. I'm fascinated by that project, and it will be fun tomorrow to see what they've done with their cameras. Monday, I won't be here. Mary will be, and it's time for father and son makeovers. My sons and I tried to get in on this, but it turned out we looked too darn good, and they said that there was no way they could improve upon any of us, so I won't be a part of that show.
On Tuesday, The Way of Marriage, we're going to talk about something called a sex fast. And this is from a gentleman who wrote a book who says that sometimes abstinence can actually build up the romance in a relationship. And we're going to visit with some couples who are having that problem in their marriages and find out what they can do to change things.
Wednesday, Louis Anderson. You've seen him on television. He's that rather hefty comedian. Very funny guy. Sure, he's going to be here when I'm not. I don't get to enjoy Louis. He's going to be on talking about some weight issues, and I bet that's going to be a good time. I'll be watching at home that day.
Okay, or from the golf course. And on Thursday, our Healthy Living ladies will pay us a final visit after their year program has ended, and we'll find out just what they think, or what they think of the entire program, and if they really felt any benefits from that. So plan on joining us all next week. We have great shows, and we'll see you tomorrow. See you at 6:30.
See you at 6:30 on the news tonight. Thanks for being with us today.
All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Accommodations for our out-of-town guests provided by Portland's newest all-suite hotel, the Residence Inn by Marriott at the Lloyd Center.
Select set furnishings provided by Fischel's, a truly unique collection of indoor and outdoor furniture and accessories. AM Northwest Flowers and Plants provided by Flowers Tommy Luke, celebrating more than 80 years of service to customers in the Northwest. Mary Sterrett's wardrobe provided by Saks Fifth Avenue, and Mary Sterrett's hairstyle courtesy of Hickok Salon.
The following is a Channel 2 editorial.
If you haven't heard the new scheme for gaining a sales tax in Oregon, it goes like this. Drop all residential property tax rates. Keep them fixed on business enterprise,
but drop the property tax on owner-occupied residential dwellings. In exchange for that, add a 5% sales tax for everybody. The success of the scheme, according to its advocates, depends on the timing. And the timing calls for taking it to the polls in November. Popular opinion tells us that a November ballot is more popular among young people, that young people tend more to vote for money measures, that property tax bills will be out by then reflecting a lower rate for the first time. And taken together with school cutbacks, why not go for a sales tax in November? But some valuable research released Tuesday by Associated Oregon Industries tells us there's not a high level of public confidence in any revenue scheme meant to raise more tax dollars. In fact, the AOI study reveals that over 70% of Oregonians believe state government is way off track. Until voting taxpayers understand that their tax dollars are being spent wisely, it is unlikely that any scheme will pass an Oregon ballot, no matter when or how it's taken. I'm Rick Myers.
If you would like to respond to this editorial, write feedback, KATU, Post Office Box 2, Portland, Oregon, 97207. Brighten your day with The Home Show, coming up next on KATU Channel 2.
What I always used to hate to hear was, you have such a pretty face. And I was 36 years old and at least 100 pounds overweight. I chose Jenny Craig because of the personal counseling. There are things that you just don't want to share with the group. Carol is the greatest. She was so motivational. She said, call me anytime. And if I hadn't had personal counseling, I don't know if I'd be sitting here now.
Get personal weight management at Jenny Craig. Pay as you go for just $6 a week. Call 1-800-92-JENNY.
In the spirit of the Northwest, here's what's happening.
Since 1989, Smith's Home Furnishings has sponsored the Athlete of the Month news features and yearly honors with K2. Hello, I'm Glenn Grodem, president of Smith's Home Furnishings. We support the Athlete of the Month awards because we believe the discipline, dedication, and teamwork required to excel in athletics are attributes that translate into success later in life. Supporting athletic programs is one of many ways your business can become involved in school partnerships. Call the Business Youth Exchange to make the connection.
Should schools teach job skills? Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
I'm Sarah Purcell. Now, how would you like it if a teacher or principal spanked your child with a paddle like this one?
Boy, did I have some of that done to me. 28 states across this country allow corporal punishment with paddles like this, and we'd like your opinion, so we're asking you to take part in our home show poll. What is your opinion about paddling in school? If it's yes, it's allowed. 1-900-370-0200. The question is, should principals and teachers be allowed to spank your child? If you say yes to that, 1-900-370-0200. Or if you say no to that, 1-900-370-0222. Now, if you're in the Eastern and Central time zones, please call. Otherwise, in the tape-delayed areas, please don't call.
And, of course, our portion of the proceeds do go to charity. Now, today, we're going to meet Susan Shoulders and her son, Tim. They stood up to the principal, who said he had a right to paddle Tim anytime he wanted.
Today, Susan and the principal are going to have it out. Welcome to the Home Show.
Also coming up, live from Cleveland, Ohio, Carol Duvall has an easy-to-make carry-all, and you don't even need a sewing machine. Plus, no fuss summer hair, new ways to keep cool in the heat. And ticks are dangerous to you and your dog. Home vet Jeff Werber has the safe way to get rid of them.
There's a new way to lose weight and stay in shape while you're doing it.
We're going to find out all about it from the star of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Janet Hubert-Whitten. Welcome. Hi there. Hi. How are you? Janet, you had Little Elijah in February.
I did. 4 months ago, I had my son.
Yeah.
8 pounds, 8 ounces.
He looks great.
8 pounds, 8 ounces.
Yeah,
My goodness,
yeah.
he was a big guy.
He was a huge baby. And we had a cesarean section, which was very, very difficult for me. So I had no idea that the C-section was going to be so hard to recover from. So I've got a new system that I work out on because I don't have a lot of time, and it's called gyrotonics.
Gyrotonics.
Right.
Now, the interesting thing is that when you were expecting, the writers of Fresh Prince, they made no secret of it. I'm telling you, it was out there for everybody to see. And I think we've got a little clip here to take a look at, because your pregnancy became part of the storyline. Wow.
Oh, my God. Oh, the pains are getting closer. Wilson, honey, get up off the floor. My hair. What is wrong with everybody? Fella, put on your damn pants and let's go.
Hey, Viv, I want to go too.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. You know, I could really use somebody to hold my hand.
Well, it wasn't as bad as we were told.
Well, actually, this was done a month before we even had the baby, so I had gained even more weight than that. I was 205 pounds when I had him.
Wow.
Now, prior to that, had you had any problems?
No, I hadn't had any problems with weight at all. But the cesarean, like I said, totally knocked me out because I had no idea. It's major surgery. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that you are totally debilitated and that your stomach is absolutely useless after that. So I had a real problem, and I'm still having some problems with it.
All right, tell us how gyrotonics came into your life.
Okay, gyrotonics is something that I've been working on before the baby, all right? A friend of mine in New York developed it, and he was a gymnast, and it's yoga-based. And the whole system of gyrotonic is that it works unified. And the key principles of yoga are unity. So that Giulio believes that the body should work together as a whole, and when you're exercising, you shouldn't work pieces of it. You can work the entire body.
We have some video of you working on the machine, so let's take a look and
great.
kind of bring us up to speed with what you're doing.
Let's say we're swimming on the machine, all right? You can duplicate a lot of different movements of different exercises. This is working the stomach, the arms, the legs, the shoulder joints at the same time. Okay?
And you can increase resistance?
Exactly. The machine will adjust as you need it to adjust to your height, to your arm length. This is those back leg extensions, back biking. This is kayaking.
You look so graceful, Janet.
Thank you. The machine works as beautifully as the body does so that you get this unity. Now, for flexibility and strength, people think that you can't.
Wow.
People assume that you can't have flexibility and strength at the same time, but you can. Now, here are your basic movements of bicep, all right? So you've got 130 reps that my machine does. So you don't need a bunch, 130 different movements, right, that you can do. This is to work the side, the back. When I first had the baby, I couldn't move my back at all. This is standing up and working, showing you that you can work, the arms work totally in all different directions, and so does the machine. Okay?
Look at that, she goes out
The body just doesn't move back and forth.
That is spectacular. I've never seen a machine that does all that.
Now, are these machines, are the machines readily available?
They are readily available through me, through Giulio in New York also.
I better not get
Now, the interesting thing is this is made out of wood.
It is made out of wood so that it breathes like the body breathes. Most machines are made out of metal. It's hard. And that's what the body starts to look like. Very
Carl
hard.
Mueller about this.
Yeah.
What does one of these machines cost?
Well, this machine is a little expensive for the average person, but we're trying to work on it to get it down a little bit. This machine runs about $2,500. Okay. But if you compare that to all the other pieces of equipment that you have to buy, it's worth it. I don't have to have anything else.
60 movements. Huh?
Exactly, right.
Can I do something on this? You made it look so easy. I want to give it a try.
I want to see your leg over your head.
That won't happen. That won't happen.
But don't press your flower.
Is it like this? She's going to swim, without her hair getting wet, without her hair
my
turning
linen
green.
blazer looking like I slept in it.
Exactly. Okay. Now she's going to lay down flat.
Do you need anybody to hold your legs? No, I guess not when you're swimming.
You're going to use the
Use the resistance.
Thanks for the offer, Gary.
All right.
Gary, why don't we put your leg over there and stretch it out?
My leg's got
so you
about
do
that
this?
much movement.
You go out and pull in, head down and in and up, swim.
What's that feel like?
Up. So she's working her back.
She's it really does open up the body, though.
She's working her arms because we've got resistance happening there.
Don't forget to breathe.
And don't forget to breathe.
And tighten up those glutes as you go.
Tighten up that butt.
Oh, yeah, she's tight. Just trying to be helpful. That's all. Yeah.
You've been dying to do that.
Terrible. It's terrible. And you can reverse it, or you can go side to side.
What was it you
one
were doing?
Way, the other way.
A counter? One was going one way while the other was going the other way? Yeah.
Exactly. That way.
I need that.
Go that way. Or you can go the same direction.
If you can
Come
get...
on, Sarah. Come on. All right.
All right.
This is like
Don't
same
wear her out. We've got about 50 minutes to go here. I'll tell you what, if you can get this thing where you can mass produce it, I'll bet you'll sell a lot of these. This is a great idea.
Women
Dad.
absolutely love it. Kids who are 8 years old love it. People who are 84 years old love it.
Okay.
Well, it certainly worked on you.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Janet. Don't forget to watch the press conference with Bel-Air. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
How you doing, kid?
Coming up, Carol Duvall is in Cleveland with an easy idea for a no-sew tote bag that you can make.
It's where you called because you missed her. But now you've got other reasons to call. 3 times as many reasons. Call AT&T now and you could say coochie coochie coo for less. Spend $40 or more a month, we'll take 25% off your favorite area code, plus 15% off your other calls, anytime. But you have to call 1-800-426-4752. Real savings made simple. Just another part of the I plan.
For me, looking good is a job requirement. I can't have flakes. That's why I use Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp Shampoo. It helps protect your scalp's natural moisture and helps prevent flakes before they start. Because beautiful hair can't have flakes.
Season after season, year after year, nothing sounds so good in the morning as breakfast with log cabin syrup. Log cabin, rich maple flavor, and mornings to remember.
Say cheese.
Cheeseburger macaroni.
Beautiful.
Hamburger Helper makes a picture-perfect meal that'll keep your family smiling.
Cheeseburger macaroni.
Makes a great meal.
Now, Kellogg's Raisin Bran has even more of what you love best. Sweet, plump raisins. And 2 scoops with more raisins means great raisin taste. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Now with even more raisins.
You know, one of the things that we like about home is that we have friends all across America. And in the next few weeks, we are going to be sending our family members to different parts of the country. And we started today with Carol Duvall in Cleveland.
Carol's appearing on our affiliate WEWS Morning Show. She's standing by live on the set of Morning Exchange with host Fred Griffith to show us how to make classy carry-alls for any occasion.
Should say the legendary Fred Griffith.
The legendary. 22 years this show has been a hit in Cleveland. And Carol, I don't know, did she help the ratings this morning, Fred?
Oh, we're waiting for the overnights.
Fred, she's always nudging around about time. Never enough time. How was she this morning?
Oh, she was great. We gave her 14 minutes.
14
minutes.
14 minutes?
14 minutes.
Can you give us some?
No living with her now.
Well, it's been nice having you two with us.
How did she do?
Oh, she was fabulous, as usual. We always love to have her come, you know, and we'd like to get her in the ratings period, but then you'd like to keep her there during the ratings period.
Yeah, that's right.
How long has she been coming to visit you, Fred?
Since January of 1972. That's how far back it goes.
Oh, my God.
And she was already a veteran of the TV wars over in Detroit City. Remember that?
You make me sound like I should be coming in my walker.
No, it's never happened.
Anyway, look at we've got some Cleveland folks here to welcome me. Hi.